This is the Mountainside, and returning to the studio is King of the Streets fighter Jason the Dragon Lee. Jason has been on an incredible journey fighting for the underground street fighting organization, King of the Streets, that is not for the faint of heart, but above and beyond that, Jason is one incredible person and a good friend. I always enjoy anytime I get to have him in studio. Enjoy our conversation. Jason the Dragon Lee, welcome back to the Mountainside. Back at it, man. You are our most downloaded episode of all time, officially.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. I hope it was based off of inspiration,
100%. Because I don't think anybody really knew. Our audience definitely didn't know about King of the Streets. If they did, I had no idea about it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think... Well, I know for a fact that's not why they were tuning in. Mm-hmm. And, going back and kind of looking at it, we didn't even get into any King of the Streets talk until like 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah. It was just about you and your life. So I would say 100% it's inspirational, man.
I appreciate it. That.
I said it during that podcast. You've inspired me. So if it's one person, it's enough, man.
Absolutely. That's all I've said. It starts with one, but absolutely. Sometimes one is enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it seems like so long ago, man. But it really wasn't.
Does. Yeah.
It hasn't even been a year.
No.
It's been like 8 months or something. And
Yeah, because June will be a year going over the pond and coming back. And it seems like it's been longer, but it definitely hasn't.
Yeah.
It's been a lot going on. Lots happened since then, so it's good.
There's so much, right? We've been able to catch up quite a bit in between here and there and see you a couple times at some other organizations. And yeah.
A lot of everybody's growing. That's what I like seeing. Is every time I catch your podcast, I'm seeing a lot of my inspirations on there, a lot of the guys I came up with, a lot of guys doing big things, and then learning a lot as well by watching the Mountainside about people that I didn't even know about that are from right here in Colorado that are pretty badass people. So
yeah.
Appreciate that from you guys,
Oh, absolutely, man. Honored to have you on. It's it's a collective. It's like a community, right? Like even some of those events that we've been at, you've got to meet some of the other guests, and we're they're genuinely hanging out. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
Not like it's
more
they're
of a family
untouchables
thing.
or anything. So, and that's kind of how I wanted to keep it. And really good people that are doing awesome things and inspirational things. And
I appreciate it. Well, having me back is amazing, so thank you.
Yeah, well, you got to keep coming back, dude. Probably twice a year with you, man.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I've hit a good streak now, you know what I mean? So we're just trying to keep the pipeline filled and just keep it rolling.
Where do we start, man? Because I don't script anything. Like I said on this one, I know you got some King of the Streets stuff coming up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know how much we can talk about because of that organization and how far you want to go down it. But for the listeners, if you're listening to this right now, I urge you to pause this and go back and listen to episode 228. It's burned in my mind. If you haven't heard of Jason or King of the Streets or listened to that episode, I would encourage you to go listen to that episode first because it really, you've had a wild ride from start to stop, and sometimes when you're sitting in the driver's seat, it doesn't seem like a wild ride, right?
Yeah.
But it definitely is for the average person. Mm-hmm. But then to take it back to the King of the Streets thing, it's something that's an underground organization, but is also public, right?
It's been a lot more public. It seems, I don't take any credit for it at all, but I think it's a lot bigger on the internet here in the U.S. now than it was if we'd had this conversation a year ago.
Well, that was just
I'm happy and I'm proud, you know what I mean, if that is part of the situation, but a lot more people here in Colorado, which is a pretty big fight capital, that a lot of more people know about it now, And I'm honored, to be at certain events and kind of hearing people whisper over here, just out of the earshot over there. And, that's the guy and he did the thing and oh my God. And, and some people come up and say hello and, I'm happy to talk about it and tell them the truth. Don't ever try it. Don't ever do it. But continue to support us, please. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm a firm believer of the promotion and of the guys that do it, but I definitely don't recommend it. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things. So it's not that I don't want other people to go and experience that or if they need it, whatever. I've had people in the U.S. that are reaching out online, that are thinking about making that jump and trying to contact that organization. And I just tell them I wish them the best. And, this is the real deal is all you can tell them, but good luck.
Yeah.
If that's what they're soul searching for, then they'll find it. If not, it's not meant to be,
Yeah. And that's kind of the whole thing with it is like, I think you truly have to want to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything you got to go through to get to that point. And for the average listener that maybe didn't listen to that episode or doesn't know what the organization is, it is basically, it's Fight Club, Valley Tudo. There's nothing to compare it to, but it's actually even a bit more underground and no rules, and probably popularity is wise as well.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I think nowadays is, with like the guys like Chris Camozzi out there representing for BKFC and, one of the most savage guys on the planet. This is just a different style is all it is. It isn't more or less of anything. You just have to be willing to take different stuff onto your plate to go into combat. There's soldiers we know that take on a lot more every day. They go in and do it just fine. It's just a different level of combat for us. And that's the way I try to promote it to the normal person. You know what I mean? You don't want to make it sound too crazy, but, like Bobby's saying, if you guys have the opportunity, look it up online and, have the podcast to listen as well. And tells a lot about why I'm doing this and, how we ended up here.
And full disclaimer, it's not for the faint of heart, man. Like it is, there's eye gouging, there's groin strikes, there's biting, there's concrete, there's it's not a nice canvas mat or some ropes to fall against normally, right? So yeah, full disclaimer.
Yeah.
You got to want to go see that too.
Yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and there was absolute points during that where I had to turn it off.
Oh yeah.
And some of the other fights that I saw, and I watched yours start to stop, but that might be the only one that I've really watched.
Yeah.
Start to stop.
I'm not a big fan. Like okay. Let me rephrase that so I don't make it sound wrong. I'm a huge fan of the sport and what we do. I'm not a fan of watching it necessarily, right? But when my guys are fighting, I know a couple guys that are part of the promotion, and I'm 100% watching those guys fight, regardless of what the setting or what they have to deal with adversity-wise. I'm just proud to see them there because they're willing to do it. So, I had a couple buddies that just fought 3 weeks ago. All three of them had great showings and happy they came out uninjured, you know what I mean? And they're back home and they're doing their thing again. Just happy, just like when, when Chris wins this title here next weekend.
Let's go.
We're going to be back doing the same thing the week after, like nothing ever changed, and the belt will be right back where it's supposed to be.
That's right. You compared it to combat, and I think that's why they call it combat sports. And like you start looking at the progression of combat sports, and it's just getting a bit more extreme. We started with boxing, right? And wrestling, and then now we're back into the MMA, and I'm talking in the last, 120 years, right? Like obviously there was Roman gladiators back in the day, and all these different types of fighting from a history standpoint, right? But there's always been some sort of combat entertainment, I guess.
Right.
But you look at like what's going on now, and now you have bare knuckle boxing, now you have dirty boxing, you have bare knuckle MMA, which Brandon Gertz is fighting in for Game.
Is that the one he's doing?
Yeah, down in Miami.
I was just talking to Coach Jake about that, and I told him to give him a shout out. So, Gertz, if you're listening to this, good luck to you, dude. You're a savage. He looks in shape, bro. He looks super scary right now.
Yeah, he's
ready to go.
He's another one of my favorite humans that we've had on.
Did you know he broke? I'll tell a fight story.
Yeah,
he broke my orbital in training, and I didn't know it.
No way.
He hit me with an overhand right at the end of a round. And you kind of keep tussling. Bell rings. We step back. Hey, good round. And I'm like, something's weird. You know what I mean? And back then the room was so full of fighters, you just kind of turn to the next guy and you go the next round, and, you start when the bell rings. And I said, hold on one second. I pulled my shirt out and I blew my nose into my shirt. And when I came up, my eye had almost poked out of my face.
Oh.
And I didn't know, but he had fractured it. And when I blew my nose, it almost blew my eyeball out of my head. So my eye was closed. It looked like somebody had put a golf ball under my eye. And, of course, the guy I was going to spar with sees it. Whoa, he calls for Coach. Coach comes running over, and he's like, oh, you're not supposed to blow your nose if you broke your nose. And I said, well, I didn't break my nose. I don't even know anything happened. But one of the hardest hitters I've ever been squashed by, that's for sure. But, yeah, and all I could do was let it heal for a couple of weeks, and then it was fine. Went back to normal, thank God. Didn't require surgery. But, Yeah, he cracked me one time in sparring back in the day. Hit me hard. Yeah.
He's an animal.
But,
just in everything that
he's got a gift. You know, he's got one speed, which if you're ever stood in front of him in sparring, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Chris and I were talking about it on the podcast the other day. It was like, even when he's cornering, like he will
come
100% to the real. You know,
absolutely. Yeah. Good guy to have in your corner.
Yeah,
you know, absolutely.
Good friend to have.
Yeah, absolutely. He's inspired me quite a bit over the years as well because he's always had just a different mind frame. Real hard edge, hard nose. He attacks it all one way, and I thought that was really cool. So, inspiration to me. One of those guys. Shout out to Brandon Gertz for sure. Good luck, dude. You know?
I'm excited. I might end up in Miami in May. So
that's a cool promotion though. Good, you know. Congrats to all those guys.
I haven't seen much of it. I thought I saw maybe Anthony Lionheart just fought in it or something, or is gonna fight in it. Or
I just saw a video of him fighting in another promotion, and it looked like he was doing pretty good. But I don't know what that promotion was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even.
I've always
think
been a
it's
fan
been
of his
a year
as well.
since
He trained with Factory X, and they were kind of a opposition of ours back then.
Yeah,
but always a fan of that guy.
I've never met him in person, but we have a lot of mutual friends, and they all speak very highly of him.
Yeah,
I was a fan of him fighting. You know, watching him up throughout the years in the UFC and stuff. Seems like a real dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But they're getting like some big names, you know, and then you start looking at BKFC and what they're doing, and it's crazy what that organization is putting up because the day after Chris's fight, actually it's going to be a few hours after because of the time difference because Australia is plus 16 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're doing another bare knuckle down in Australia with some of our mutual friends down there and our sponsored athlete here at the Mountainside, which we've never done. I was telling you before we hit record.
Yeah.
So shout out to Mel and the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Get
some
over
by the
there,
time
dude.
this airs, because we're going to put it out Saturday morning. He'll have fought and Chris will have fought. But
cool.
But yeah, hopefully we're
good
all
luck to you guys, man, and we'll see you guys on the winning side. Absolutely.
Let's
by
go.
the time y'all listen, hopefully. That's cool.
Yeah. No, they definitely will. They're it's good family, man. If you ever need some people down in Australia, if you find yourself down under, we got you.
That's the best part. Everybody says that, you know, because there's people all over the world, and I'm like, I just never know where I'm going to end up until the plane tickets show up, man. So I'm just always, I don't get ready. I stay ready, which is the coolest part, you know, about living a healthy lifestyle. But yeah, I mean, I'm still in it to win it. So let's go.
So this next fight, how much information is King of the Streets giving you before you go? Do you have, I mean, obviously you got to have a date, right? To kind of get yourself ready for a camp or?
Nope. They gave me like a 2-month time frame. They asked.
Really?
So within 2 months, you know, I'll know. It's sometime within those 2 months. That's all I know now. And I know about an opponent and I know about a weight.
Okay.
And that's it. So,
do you have to agree upon your opponent? Is that?
No.
Okay.
They just said, you know, this is just so you know, this is who it is. And, you know, you cool here at this weight? And I said, absolutely, let's go. So I don't feel like it's one of those promotions where you're going to say, well, no, and let me see, you know, give me a guy with a different record or.
Right.
I'm here to fight. So I could tell you that the guy that I'm fighting is a little bit older, which was cool, you know, than the guy I fought last year.
Really?
So it was like maybe a little sign to me personally that they're interested in having me back because they didn't give me a 25-year-old guy to fight when I'm 47 years old.
Yeah.
They're giving me a guy that's 40 plus, which is great. He's a savage kickboxer, you know, but he hasn't seen me yet. You know, I try to say it without laughing. Like I try to be as serious as possible.
Right.
But like last year, I was in really good shape, man. I was feeling really good, but it was more based on like adrenaline, fear. You know what I mean? Knowing that I probably wasn't really, really ready yet. You know, I'd been still drinking like as of November of that year. I just quit. You figure, so it's time frame wise. Everything was still in my system. I was still flushing everything out. And I was able to go and have a great showing. You know, I didn't feel like I wanted to. So that's why I'm going back. I want to do it again. And now I've had another year, damn near, you know what I mean? Clear of everything. And I'm feeling even better. So time to go show them I can still do it again.
You look great, man.
Yeah, feeling really,
when
really
you walked
good.
in today, I was like, damn. You get bigger?
Like more lean. And it's weird, you know, like the leaner you get, well, you know, you're feeling great right now as well. You're looking really good. But
thanks, buddy.
The leaner you get, the bigger. People are going to say, like, did you gain weight? And you're like, no, I'm actually losing weight. But, You just present yourself. It just sits on you differently, you know?
You stand up straighter. It's weird.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So like I said, man, I'm just rocking and rolling with it, you know? I got my daughter and my wife with me here in the studio today, guys.
Shout out.
Yeah. They're going to be
You want to come on the podcast? You want to talk about some training?
You want to come and say hi for a minute? Come on over.
And give her the introduction
before we
here,
get
Dad.
into the real serious stuff. So this is my daughter, Everly. Everly Grace. Say hi.
We'll pull this mic up here a little bit.
There you go.
Hi.
So I told you I wasn't going to make you too shy. So what's your favorite subject in school?
Well, if we're talking about specials, I would do art or gym because they're really fun. Mm-hmm. And we're doing a project we're going to be starting a new project in art. And then if we're talking about school-wise, I would pick science because we're doing a project in wind block, because for wind block now I have to switch between 2 classes. Mm. So for Monday, Tuesday I do science, and Wednesday, Thursday I do math. Mm. In science wind block we're doing a project, and we got to pick who we wanted to be with and what we wanted to do. We're doing a thickness of like rubber bands that are used in kitchens. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're getting 3 different thickness types. We're doing a small thickness, a medium, and then a large thickness. And we're going to test them on different things, like how far they can stretch, how much they can like hold. And then in science, we're not really doing anything. We're just revising stuff from the first day of school because we're doing CMAS, and we started it last week. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow we're starting science CMAS.
Testing?
We just finished math today. It kind of sucked. No offense to my teachers.
Yes.
Dang.
Because math isn't my favorite subject. Plus, on Friday when we were doing it, on Friday when we were doing math, our second unit of it, we had 16 questions for me, and then some other kids had different amount of questions. Mm-hmm. And then we had 13 again today because we started off with 13. Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this: since Dad's a martial artist and I'm a fighter, you've trained some jiu-jitsu, right? And you've trained a lot of kickboxing. Which one do you like better?
Kickboxing, because I can kind of like move my body a little more rather than having to be close to someone all the time. Mm-hmm.
Like using your footwork? Mm.
And plus, I can go on like a bag and just train alone.
Mm. That's my last question is, so if you get to hit mitts with Dad or you could do bag work, which one would you choose?
Bag work.
Really?
She doesn't know what she's missing out on, man.
Yeah.
People pay $1 million an hour to come train with me, I'm telling you. All right. Well, thank you very much. All right.
That's incredible. What grade are you in?
Yeah.
5th.
Okay.
Awesome. Going into 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very proud of it.
Crazy times.
Mom and I are both very proud of it.
Good job. Thanks for coming on. You are the youngest guest that we've ever had on. Set a record. You got to sign the door today, too. Cool? All right. We need an autograph.
That's awesome.
Thank you very
much, man.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
No, that's awesome. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love this sort of stuff, and I love doing stuff like this because for me, this podcast has made me a better person because I'm more thought out, and I know that at some point, probably not anytime soon, but at some point, my kids might go back and listen to this, maybe.
Yeah.
If I'm entertaining enough, and the people that I've had on, you know. It'll be a good representation of me, hopefully. Later
Absolutely. You know, like in my first generation of fighting, there was only pictures, really, you know, so we had moments in time and like walkouts to the fights. They would film that kind of stuff. Some of it's still online, some of it's not, but that's what I would always incorporate my son as he grew. Or they would ask, you know, when you think your sponsors or whatever after a fight. When my son was too young, I'd say, I know you're in here somewhere, dude. You know, but then when he was old enough, he'd start walking me out to fights.
You holding your son, I think, you sent me the last time.
Yeah, either bring him in after, or then when he got old enough, he would walk me to the cage or to the ring. You know what I mean? He'd pick my walkout music, stuff like that. Just awesome. So that he'd have those moments in time, you know, moving forward. Like we were actually, when he graduated boot camp, we were at Fort Benning, my father and I, And we were at like the Walmart. You know, he had just now got to go shopping, right? Hit the PX, you know, do the thing. So we're just out following him around. He'd been in boot that whole time. And they were looking for headphones, him and my dad. They were standing right in front of us, kind of bent over there. And I shit you not, dude. Somebody's like, Jason the Dragon Lee. Now we're in Fort Benning, Georgia, right?
Really?
And I'm like, look over, and one of his cadets that was in the graduating class with him was from Colorado and came up in the fight industry, had like an amateur fight or two, and he graduated with my son. He's like, bro, I used to follow you, this and that. Of course, my son's like, everywhere we go, dude, here you are. And I'm like, man, that was pretty bad timing, right? But it was cool. You know, he's like, dude, you're a huge inspiration, like in fighting. And, you know, he's actually reached out to me probably once or twice over the years that my son's been in now and wherever he's stationed and doing his own thing. So, again, fighting helps to inspire, dude, in some crazy way, you know?
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
You know?
And your son, he's still active duty?
Yeah, dude, he just made sergeant, man. So shout out to Jordan. He just made sergeant a couple weeks ago.
Army?
In the Army, yeah. He's stationed out of Fort Carson right now and doing really well.
Oh, that's cool. So he's a little closer to home.
Yep. Him and his girlfriend, Kaylee, are getting ready to have my granddaughter, Valerie.
Dude.
Early June.
Grandpa Lee.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's going to be pretty wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they're getting ready. You know, he's putting together baby stuff and doing all that in his little bit of off time. You know, he's on like a crazy detail right now, but he's doing really well, dude. So one of those things, you know what I mean? It's like, can't believe it's manifesting like right in front of me, but it's happening, you know?
That's incredible, man. Because I
were
think
just saying, like, she's about to be 12. I'm like, what? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm kind of hoping, I mean, I don't want to force anything, but I hope that my kids have kids someday.
Yeah.
So I can still experience, you know, like those baby years, you know?
Well, and like, you know, as a
awesome.
parent, dude, they're always too young, but you know it. Hopefully, right? It happens. They get to experience that at some point. I felt like he's too young, but look where he's at in life. Like, look at all these accomplishments he already has at this young age. Look at the path he set ahead of him.
Yeah.
It's really a perfect time. You know what I mean? So if you're going to do it, no better time than the now.
It's good for that military money, too.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, he's got a lot of like, I didn't even know this, but they give him a lot of time for baby leave.
Oh,
so
awesome.
like a male maternity leave that he gets to go and be with the wife and help with the baby and all that.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Army for like, you know, trying to keep families together. I thought that was really cool that he's like, no, I get paid time off to just be at home, help out. I'm like, that's solid.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Very cool, actually. You know, we know a lot of guys in the Ranger regiments and stuff, and have had some guests in and stuff, and getting introduced to some of those people that make their content and stuff. They have a huge emphasis, like on Father's Day. They make some just badass, like we made those shorts about you,
cool.
of them fighting wars and holding kids, man. Like
that's
why
cool.
they do it.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, like he's safe for right now. You know, they handle the more of the Pacific side of stuff in the world. So thank God the nonsense that is happening, all the craziness that's going on. He's just chilling right now, so he's got a good time that he can be with his family. He may have to leave at some point, so
Yeah.
hopefully it's just not for a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
he gets
man.
to spend that proper early time at home and go do his job after that.
Well, awesome, man. It's incredible to have people still doing that for us. So
Yeah, absolutely.
honored.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
moving into, I guess, do you think you'll be fighting in the next like 2-3 months? And the events for King of the Streets they pre-record them, right? Or are they live? Okay.
It's up to suspicion.
Right.
I'll just leave that up to suspicion because I know they've been having a lot of problems with people hating on the production, and I think it's absolute bullshit, man. If people want to do it, let them do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've all signed contracts. We know what the hell we're doing.
Right.
You know, that's where it comes down to. So it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
So you might as well, you know what I mean? Let us do it, make it televised, let people see what's actually happening. So that's my thought on it all, but we'll just leave it at that. You know, they have a lot of people hating on them. So,
Yeah.
but yes, in the next couple months,
Okay.
I would hope.
Yeah.
I'm old, man. I want to fight in the warm weather.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dead serious, though.
Yeah.
Like,
It makes a big difference. Yeah.
yeah, you know, I don't warm up like you used to. You can't just walk in, take your gear off, and go, all right, I'm ready. Yeah,
But
it
you
doesn't
don't
work
know
out.
what continent, what time, what date.
No, which makes it even cooler for me.
Yeah.
You know, I spent my whole life fighting. And the fact that it can bring me to a foreign country and let me do what I want to do and let me be free, you know? And yeah, I just think it's a cool opportunity, you know? And as long as Mama's in the driver's chair, you know, she says I can go, I go.
Yeah.
She supports me 100%. And still to this time, you know, to this day, she's supporting me. So we had this talk recently. Incredible. I was like, you know, her and I were talking. I just said, well, I was like kind of bittersweet, right? I was like going on this next trip. I was like, because I said I was only going to do it for a year. I gave you my word. And so, like, it's going to be awesome. I feel great. Like, you know, go get the thing in. I was like, but on the plane ride home, probably going to cry the whole way home. She's like, why? And I'm like, because retirement's real. I said, you know, at that point, I just have to be like, no, I'm just a guy. Okay.
Right.
And she's like, so don't put a name on it, right? She goes, well, if they call you the year after and you're in shape again and your brain's still in the same spot, she goes, just go back. She said it. I said it on air. She said that to me. Yeah. But you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? I really appreciate just putting
dude,
it
for
like
47
that, right?
years old, like the shape that you're in, I wish I was in that shape. I just turned 46, you know? So I'm right behind you. And I don't even want to know how hard you have to work at it because I know how hard I work at it. Yeah. Just to be in the shape that I'm in.
Mm-hmm. I can tell people like that are wondering that, right? That's probably a good time to bring that up, right? It's a lifestyle. My wife can tell you, like, I'm so regimented. So, like, being raised in a military family and then spending a lot of time in prison and then getting out, but following that same structure helps to save your life. Like, if you follow that structure in a organic and healthy way, it's still structure, right? So I've always lived my life like that. People are like, well, you have the gym, we'll get into that soon. You know, you got this gym and you're doing this. And I'm like, but if you look what I've done, I've surrounded myself with things that have made me happy and successful in life. So me giving that to other people is just a benefit from it now. But so it's not like I have to wake up and say, okay, I got to do this first and I got to do that. It's just where I put myself every day with these opportunities. Now I just have to do it. You know what I mean? So I don't have to search these things out. I've surrounded myself with it all and made it real easy to be successful. And the people that have already started to come into the gym, when they're leaving, they're like, there is a thing. You have a thing. And I'm like, that's all you have to do is show up. If you don't show up, you're never going to know.
Right.
So it's that simple. You know what I mean?
Congratulations on it, man. I haven't had time it's on my list of stuff to do is come down and see it. And yeah. It's
a small studio, man. It's a little, you know, it's a building like a man cave warehouse style.
Yeah. I like
those.
So
it's kind of, you know, it's kind of do what the heck you want with it, but got a lot of real fitness, you know, nice fitness equipment in there. Towards the front, got a lot of cardio equipment, got a full functional training area as well. And then into the back, we got the Dragon's Den fighting system, which is cool. You know, matted out the whole area, hung a bag cage, got some nice bags hanging, got all my gear. You know, we do open sparring. I hold daily classes, you know, so we got a lot of different stuff going on. It's really cool.
That's incredible.
Like I said, I just encourage people. I'm out in Parker, Colorado. It's called the Peak Performance Training Center. And just look us up. Come out and check us out.
Pull up their Instagram real quick, too, Derek, if you don't mind.
I believe it's under Peak Performance TC.
Okay. There it is right there. Peak 26, _26.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
No, we're just getting started. We're starting to figure out how to do better videos and cool videos and new, you know what I mean? It's a process, right?
That can
so
be a
whenever
time
you guys
suck.
upgrade your cameras, I heard you and Luke talking about upgrading cameras, and I was like, let me know when you guys upgrade them because it's really an art to it. You know what I mean? I found now an app that makes it a little easier for my blind old butt. You know?
Dude, you'd be shocked what you can do with an iPhone right now. Like just a newer
Don't feed
iPhone.
into that.
Yeah.
I'm a Samsung guy, dude. Talk to the iPhone lady over there.
Well, any camera phone nowadays, man. You can. There's so much you can do with it in the apps. It's pretty cool.
Just learning.
This looks like good content, though.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like I said, I found an app that makes the videos relatively easy. Just shows people getting busy and their short content, which people love nowadays. Yeah. So that's all I'm doing.
That's right.
Plus, like I said, I watch what you guys are all doing. You know, I watch what Luke's doing. I'm watching what everybody's doing and just trying to take a little bit and be original all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know? So.
No, that's awesome. So for the everyday person, is this strictly a fight gym?
This is not a fight gym at all. Yeah.
Really?
I'm not even training fighters anymore. I just am trying to bring everybody, you know, from kids to, you know, the dad that's, you know, dropping the kids off and's got a little extra time, wants to go learn some new stuff, to the soccer mom that wants to come in and take a cardio bag class or learn self-defense. You know, with my background in combatants, there's nothing I can't teach you. You know, whether it's jujitsu, wrestling, you know, kickboxing, the you know, list goes on and on.
Yeah.
For everyday fathers like yourself, you know, that think that maybe they're a little more capable than they truly are, I'm the guy you can come talk to. Come join some classes, get some technique classes in, you know, learn some new stuff. And if you want to try one-on-ones with me, then that's, you know, options that you have as well to ask some other questions. But my whole thing is just to create an environment, number one, where people can come and learn, you know, and leave more invigorated, more inspired than when they walk through the door. I also created an environment where if there's any up-and-coming personal trainers, you know, people that are looking to house, you know, their clientele in a facility, I've created that facility for you. You know what I mean? So I encourage anybody to reach out, find me on Instagram as well. But yeah, we're looking for a couple trainers right now to just influx the gym, keep the gym busy as well, because I'm doing a lot of one-on-one stuff right now. But the classes will grow and, you know, we'll take off from there.
That's right.
So like I said, man, not looking for the big gym culture, not looking for the big gym aspect. I don't want to be like a Vasa, you know, shout out to Vasa, but I also don't want to be like an Easton Training Center. You know, they have hundreds and hundreds of members, or
So
a high
crazy.
altitude, you know. Just a small little niche. You know, I got my small little place in Parker, and I'd love to see some great people there. So that's what we're looking for.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Are there any fighters, because of your King of the Streets career, and then not only that, like your whole fighting career, man, you've been at this for 20 plus years now?
I think we're going up to 20 right now. Yeah. We're coming up on 20.
Congratulations, man. That's a feat.
It's wild.
Yeah.
That's a life's lesson, or life's work, or whatever they call it, you know?
Do you have any fighters traveling in to hang out with you, like other King of the Streets fighters or anything?
Yeah,
like
so
that?
Eric and I still talk real regularly. You know,
Yeah,
my buddy,
I love that
buddy
dude.
from Scotland, absolutely.
We've been going back and forth, and you know, it's so funny. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I love that man because it's just like his genuineness, right? And everybody just sends you the quick little DM, like text message or whatever. He'll send me a voice message, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I love that, man. Like,
Yeah,
it's
he's done
so
that
cool.
for everybody I've had compete in the last year. I had something come up, you know. Everybody loves hearing that Scottish accent, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're rooting for you. And,
But he's like a sweetheart of a man.
absolutely,
But scary.
absolutely,
Yeah.
He's terrified of my wife. It's hilarious. You should see
Oh,
them
I
on
bet.
video chat. I'll turn him and he'll go, "Hey, oh, I don't want." Yeah, no, absolutely. He's a great guy though. He's been going through some struggles right now. So shout out to Eric. You know, his father has some pretty late stage cancer, so they're dealing with that. And then his real good buddy Yogi is his mom has got some pretty late stage cancer as well. So they're going through some rough times right now. You know, stepped away from competition. You know, but we still speak regularly, and I'm, you know, letting them pull through it.
Yeah.
I tell all these young guys, you know, I just saw a picture, actually. I'll shout out to another guy, Donovan Alirez, the Alirez brothers from up north in Greeley, right? I just saw a picture of this kid today. When he first got out, you know, he was in the halfway house, and he was coming to a gym I was coaching at, and he was on the struggle bus, man. You could just see it in his face. He wanted to train, but he had a lot of life stuff going on, just like Eric does right now, right? And I told him, I said, fighting will always be here, dude. You have to go get your house in order, right? Once your house is in order, you can come right back, dude. And guess what? All us knuckleheads are still going to be here doing it. You know what I mean? So make that your priority, and then you're not losing it all. You know, you're not worried, I didn't make it to the gym. I didn't get it. You know, I didn't get my job done. Put that aside for now. Go focus on what you have to. So I told Eric the same thing. Fighting's always going to be here, man. You're still only 30 years old. You know what I mean? So you got a lifetime ahead of you to still do this stuff. So go take care of your family, and you'll be great. You know, good to go. So with Donovan, I was saying, we just saw him on Instagram earlier today, man. He's got a fight in like 2 weeks. This dude looks like a different kid, man. I'm really proud of you, dude, whatever you're doing up there in Greeley, man. And good luck. Shout out to all you guys. I know they're competing real soon. Their cousin is Andrew Boo Alirez, who was like the #1 wrestler out of Northern Colorado ever, I believe. You know, and he's making his MMA debut coming up here real soon as well.
Oh, really?
I believe it's on the Sparta AVM show they're doing up in Loveland.
Wyoming? Oh, okay.
It's in Loveland, yeah. Okay. That used to be the Budweiser Event Center.
Oh, right.
Whatever it is now.
Okay.
So, yeah. He's coming out and making his debut soon, which should be great, hopefully, for MMA in Colorado.
That's awesome,
I've always supported that family through and through. Great group of guys.
That's rad. Yeah, there's so many organizations now. There's so much to keep up with. And, like, especially this time of year, they're all hitting it hard, man. It's crazy.
Well, no, like I said, we saw each other at the Colorado Combat.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, right?
And I get in, I get settled, I say hi to people, and then I'm like, I can't stay here.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Some days I'm super into it, and some days I'm like, I've done this way too much.
Yeah.
You know, they just had another event last Saturday, and I'm like, I said, do you want to go out? And she's like, no. You know, her and I usually chill on Saturday. No. I'm like, deal. We're staying right inside, then enjoy the day, you know?
Yeah, I don't really go unless I'm supporting the fam or the Mountainside family.
Yeah,
or,
absolutely.
Yeah, you know, like
it just gets kind of not redundant, but there's a lot of fighters now. Super happy for them all. But when I can look at a card and I'm like, I don't really know one of these people.
Well, no disrespect to anybody either, or any of these organizations. I love it all. Like, I'm the biggest fan, but like, even trying to keep up with the UFC and as many fights as they're doing now, it's like, I didn't watch last Saturday's card. I'm going to go back and watch it because I love watching Yuri fight, you know?
It was not a bad card, man.
Yeah.
My wife and I actually watched that one, you know, from beginning to end, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You know my outlook on it all, dude.
Yeah.
It's just such a show now.
It is, yeah. It's it's turning into more of a show too. And I think
like Curtis Blades is my guy, man. Like Vinny and Cody Donovan, those are all my guys, man. And to lose to an asshole like that guy, like, I mean, got to give him all respect in the world.
Yeah.
But that guy's just not good for the sport, dude. I don't even know what his name is. I don't even care.
Yeah.
You know, the heavyweight guy there or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You'll see it.
That's unfortunate.
You'll see the nonsense, you know.
Okay.
I mean? And it's one of those things.
Yeah.
When you see a real fighter guy that spent the time to do the work, you know what I mean? And then some kind of clown show comes in and wins by a lucky shot.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like, you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Sad. It's sad. There's just a lot of nonsense going on. You know?
Yeah, this weekend, the reason why I missed is I was in Nashville at the Supercross event. And man, that rekindled my love for that is one amazing sport,
I used
man.
to
like
ride when I was young.
Did you?
Yeah, I did a lot of trail riding
That's
in New
awesome.
England, and then my brother was a track rider.
Okay.
I was still a little too young.
Yeah.
But I've always
I'm gonna
ridden.
hit you with this mic.
Yeah,
here
sorry.
real quick.
I've always ridden my whole life. I
Really?
love dirt bikes.
Oh,
So
it's
Supercross is a whole different level.
Yeah.
How
it
was that
wild.
being in that building?
Dude, so they do football stadiums.
Yeah, they have.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
they go now.
And it's the best riders in the world are competing. So it's the top 20. And there's probably like 50 guys. So they have heat races going up to it, to the main event. But then the main event is just like, it's like watching a fight almost.
Yeah, it has
I mean,
to be.
sometimes they are fist fighting, actually.
I'm sure, right? Yeah, because there's a lot. They got a lot riding on those things.
But it was really cool. Just that whole organization. It's a very much like a fight kind of family mentality. Like there's a bunch of old moto people. I was seeing people that I hadn't seen because I cut my teeth in that industry 20 years ago, you know, like between
crazy.
music production and racing. I was just doing stuff that I wanted to do. But I ran into a bunch of people I hadn't seen in like 15 years, and you just pick it up like you didn't skip a beat, you know, like all the people that work in the industry or ridden in the industry, and it was really cool, man. They, you know, have you been to Nashville? Okay, Broadway is a shit show. It's where all the bars are at. Like Jelly Roll's got a bar, Kid Rock's got a bar, and it's the main drag. There's hundreds of tourists, like.
Too much.
I think that they're actually talking about closing that street to traffic here real soon, like next year, just because there's people that come from all over the world. And the music's phenomenal. Every bar has somebody playing, and it's like, you know, is where Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings and Hank Sr. and all those guys, you know, if you were the who's who in country.
You played down there.
You played down there back in the day. But it's really cool. I say we. But the Supercross people and Monster Energy, shout out to those guys, dumped dirt on Broadway. And you know the whole shot?
Yeah.
They did the whole shot on Broadway.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was freaking awesome.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, and it was all the legends of the sport. So it was like Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah.
And
His mom was a middle school teacher at my school when I was growing
Jeremy
up in New England. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, she was a middle school teacher at one of my schools that I went to.
That's crazy.
Yeah, in New England. Yeah, he was like an old legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Yeah. Very long
That
time
sport
ago.
has came so far, though.
Oh, it's
like, you know, I
incredible.
grew up riding two-stroke, you know, having
Yeah.
a blast. Like, my first one was like a Suzuki JR50, I think it was. Then I went on to like a KDX80, a KX80, you know, so I grew and grew. And then I think my last bike when my son was born was a Kawasaki KX250.
Oh, yeah.
Big bike. But then I took
Two-stroke,
some
right?
time off. Yeah,
Yeah,
two-stroke. Took
YZ.
some time off. And then when I went back, it was a four-stroke 450.
Oh,
That's a
my
whole
gosh.
different animal, man. I
Yeah.
tried to take that thing out in Rampart. It's a hard bike to ride on
Watch
those
out for
trails out there because
trees,
that thing
yeah.
is just a monster. But like I
Yeah.
said, ridden my whole life, absolutely love it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
so.
there's nothing that clears your mind like that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
know?
just
yeah.
absolutely. Even like side by sides, I've ridden them. I love it. Still not the same.
Yeah, something about
Riding dirt bikes is, you know, especially like in New England. Yeah, I could get on that dirt bike and be gone for 2-3 hours out on the trails and just be gone by myself.
Yeah.
Then you pull back up, get another tank of gas, or stop at a gas station that was right off of a trail road, and then just keep going. You know, so we had a lot of fun back then.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up the right way. I was lucky though. You know, Sarah
Yeah.
and I grew up in the same area. You know,
Oh, really?
hooking up the toboggans on the back of the 3-wheeler and just
Yeah.
taking off on the lake and just cut the handlebars.
I
when
grew
you're
up
ready.
here, so it was the same thing.
You know what I
It
mean,
was all
yeah.
about where I was riding my dirt bike, whether I was getting in trouble or not.
Right? Yeah, you try to.
Apparently, you're not allowed to ride on golf courses, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
they used to wait for us because they knew there was the road crossing. You had to
Yeah.
go from like road across the road, and they'd wait. They'd try to chase you, but
yeah, there was a few times where I was sitting on the couch watching cartoons while my pipe was still crackling in the shed and the sheriff at the door. You know, it's like,
where you been? You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I just woke up.
Yeah. Why do you have the same shirt on? Ah, you
Yeah,
have
why
mud.
are your eyes watering? You smell like race fuel. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's great.
Yeah, but man, it really did keep me out of some trouble, you know, because I just
yeah.
loved being on the back of a bike. But man, as a spectator too, that is one awesome sport to watch, man.
If you don't have respect for what those guys are doing, it's like saying you don't have respect for like WWE wrestlers.
Yeah.
They're all athletes, man, and those guys are hanging on to that bike's got to be hard enough, letting alone the athletic ability to keep your core involved like that.
Yeah,
I couldn't
and it's
even
a
imagine.
show too, man. Like the amount of pyro and stuff that they have there now, like they set off this pyro blast, and I forgot how big it is. And I've done some like crazy rock shows with like the band Rammstein, the German band.
Yeah.
And they do some wild stuff, but like the amount of single pyro that was set off, I mean, it's just this 60-foot like flame. It looks like a nuke went off, and then it leaves a giant smoke ring.
Yeah.
The size of the stadium.
Right,
Yeah.
and right on the inside.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it goes this one was open air. They
Yeah,
probably I don't know if they do those indoor. That's probably
I would
too
hope not,
big.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's probably too big. But yeah, it's like an 80-foot flame or
Looks
something.
cool
It's
though,
crazy.
anyway,
Yeah.
especially with the open top of them flying like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was
stuff.
awesome.
Absolutely.
So we went down that tangent, but so to take it back to the gym and what you're doing there,
Yeah.
what's the best place for like people to come seek it? Is it call you guys? Is there a
Yeah.
website, or like what's the best way to sign
No
up?
website yet. We're still having it built, but I've got some flyers that are out there right now. But I would just encourage everybody to send us a message on Instagram, or my number's, everywhere right now.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to reach out to me directly as well to ask about class schedules and memberships, so on and so forth, And then when it comes to the gym, I just want to give a couple shout outs to people that made this happen for me and made it possible.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
cool. I got a buddy that I went to high school with, and he's like super shy kind of guy, but he was in the Arena Football Hall of Fame. This dude's a badass, like a
nice.
real life human. But his name's Charlie Bricksman. He works with a company called Ventana Capital, and he's kind of the one that showed me the option that this could happen. You know what I mean? Told me to believe in myself and gave me a path for it to happen. So shout out to him. Shout out to his buddy Darwin over there as well. And then my buddy Trent Decker. He's with Archer Plumbing. He's been a long-time sponsor of mine anyway, but he was nice enough to come in, run water lines for us with their plumbing company because it was way up there in the ceilings and I wasn't getting up there.
Yeah.
So ran my water lines for me, helped us out with all that stuff. And then one other guy is Stephen Holler. He's got a couple different companies, but it's Holler and Company. He's got a moving company, kind of does this and that. It's got a little bit of everything. He helped us out a ton with getting the gym set up, moving equipment around. Nothing's light, as you figure out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to move things 10 different times to figure out where you really want it. So he was a huge help as well. And one of the guys that I want to just give a shout out before I forget is my guy, Zach Hare. But Zach's my coach. He's like my go-to guy when it comes to mitt holding right now, just because he's real close by the house. Super solid guy, comes from my generation of fighting, and I would just encourage like anybody that's up and coming. He's out of Denver Modern Jiu-Jitsu, but anybody that's up and coming, man, go see this kid. He's got a gift and a talent, and the team over there at Denver Modern, super cool. They welcome me in to come spar on Saturdays and stuff like that. So they got a real good following, so I just want to show my appreciation. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, without them, the early guys that I mentioned there, the gym just wouldn't have been possible. You know, I kept doing do I go find a location? Is this really what I want to do? And it's what I want people to understand is like, you know, I'm disabled. I'm retired essentially at this point. So with all that being said, I'm doing this so that I could create, a space for my wife and my daughter to grow. My wife's got a great job, but I don't want her to have to do that forever. So if we can create a place to bring people in, get better, do a great thing, and then go their own way, that's what we're looking to do here, is create like a family-style environment where people can grow. So
that's awesome.
It's not the $1 million idea at all. It's just a small place for people to come and get better.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm going to come check it out for sure.
Most definitely.
If you're listening to this right now, we'll put live links to the Instagram and all that sort of stuff.
Very cool. Yeah, or my Instagram as well as, the Jason the Dragon, something or other. Yep.
Yeah. It might be pulled up already, Derek. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, if you just go Jason, it should pop right up. Yeah, it's right there. Jason the Dragon Lee. Or the Dragon Lee.
There you go.
Yeah. Or no, the Dragon Jason Lee.
I think
on
Instagram. I had to get the right one. I had to get the right open one that sounded okay.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. But
there's the group of us at Denver Modern Jiu-Jitsu right there. Actually, that's a Saturday morning. There's always a healthy group of new guys and some established older people, which is great inside the room. You know what I mean? We're able to get
don't look soft.
No, there's a bunch of mean young men in there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and women usually. Yeah, we've got a couple young ladies that come in as well, which is great.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have live links to all this too. That's the easiest way is to go to themountainside.com or open the show notes wherever you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, Apple, all the platforms. It'll all be the same. So
very cool.
The links will be in there.
Absolutely love it.
So you mentioned something a few minutes ago, and this is for my own greed. You talked about sticking to a regiment health-wise, training-wise, all that sort of stuff. Can we dive into your regiment a little bit on just what you do? Because, dude, you are in shape.
I appreciate that. Because some days it's weird, man. You can get in really good shape, but conditioning, they always say, is like the first thing to go. So if I'm lazy for like a couple days, dude, the first thing I feel, I'm like, I know we live in Colorado, man.
Just take like 2 days off.
Even just like weird stuff, It's, it definitely affects you. You can tell. Maybe it's just because we live at this crazy altitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've always taken that into account. But yeah, it's weird how it'll hit you, So yeah, my regiment, Monday through Friday, keep it simple.
Sure.
Yeah. Monday is usually a workout day for me. So I'll set up my circuits, I stick to 5 times through my circuits. My circuits are, something different. And actually, if you guys are interested in finding out, that's probably a shtick. I'm new to all this, right? But if you guys are interested in seeing what my circuits are all about or what I have, the everyday person doing, go check out the Instagram page for sure, because I'm starting to just kind of put glimpses out there of what we're really doing. The other important thing I do want people to know is when I'm having my students do these circuits, is the exact same circuits that I do. I may change the weight accordingly, so on and so forth. But I don't want people to think that I'm putting forth a program and a belief that, this is how you get fit, and then I'm over here doing something totally different than what I'm telling you is the right way to do it. I'm sure we've all seen a fitness guru or two like that,
And I think, this is a little caveat. If your trainer's not looking at what you're doing specifically or your athletic goals, you need to find a new trainer.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I think each person is a different case. What are you trying to get better at? Are you just trying to be healthier? Are you trying to look better? What's the goal?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And the couple that I have, a couple clients, I should say, that are active right now and, doing the thing, they do a little bit of everything. They're all 40 plus men right now, which is cool because it's like a different kind of a testing group that I can kind of give them some different stuff, you know what I mean? And they seem to love it. That's the whole thing is it's, with 40-year-old men, it's number one, how do you feel? Number 2, how do you look? And number 3, how close are we, to getting to the goal? How are we going to get there by doing these things? You know what I mean?
Right.
So like back to my regiment, Monday I'll do a workout, circuit training. You know what I mean? But the goal is high intensity for me. It's short burst, high intensity. Mm-hmm. So if my circuit takes me 20 minutes, it only takes me 20 minutes. If it takes me 35 minutes, it takes me 35 minutes. But my goal is to stay consistently moving. And everything I do is fight simulated, right? So I'm sticking to what I know right now. I've stayed away from bodybuilding style, strict sets and rest and hang out, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my regimen is strictly based to just make me a better, more efficient fighter. But I will say this to those guys that are out there wondering about that, like just being a more fit fighter makes me a more fit, capable father, parent, neighbor. You know what I mean? If anybody's in trouble, I'm the guy that can definitely go and help right away. So I encourage all guys that are older to seek out this style of training, seek out a little something different than
I couldn't agree more with you, man. That's honestly why I train, and the goals that I'm trying to hit is like, if I needed to pull myself out of a fuselage or pull somebody out of a car or get somebody out of someplace, like all those things matter to me now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, that goes right down to like, there's a young gal that I train in jiu-jitsu right now. She's only 10, but I've got the throw dummies in there, and those dummies are heavier than she is. I'm sure of it, but I'm like, pick that up, carry it over there, even if you got to drag it. Now, pick this up, throw it over there. It's just all functional training. It's exactly what kids need. What we see later part in life, we usually need that as well. Yeah. So like, no hate to the power lifters in the world or the bodybuilders and, the CrossFit style people. I love it all. As long as you're doing something that makes you whole and makes you, more capable, stick to it. So then Tuesday, we'll move into Tuesday, right? I get away from the weights, and usually because of the way my style of fighting is, I'll get away from doing, rounds. So I'll set the round timer at like 30 minutes, and I'll just go to work. Bag work, mitt work, double end bags, and I kind of just switch it up through all of that. But
that's specifically probably for King of the Streets, is that just no because rounds. There are no rounds. Yeah, you're not going to a corner and sitting on a stool.
No, there's no.
What's
time.
the average fight last in King of the Streets? Do they typically go over 30 minutes?
No, I think the longest one we've ever seen was maybe 25 minutes.
That's still crazy.
That's a super long time.
That's insane.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. We've seen championship fights that go 25 minutes in the UFC or some of these big organizations, right? And some of these guys look terrible in the fifth round, right? And these are some of the most well-conditioned athletes on the planet. I've seen some of these guys in King of the Streets that are fighting for that long and still look crispy and clean. They just couldn't land the right shot, to put that other guy was that tough as well, but they weren't, hands down looking just absolutely terrible. They were still crisp and ready to finish
training at that, for that, right? Yeah.
I'm hoping so. You know, that these guys are on that same wavelength that I am, because fighting for 3 minutes and taking a minute off doesn't do you any good, or fighting for 5 minutes and taking time off doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, when I'm looking at, like, I hate running, but I'm specifically looking at 800 meters, because it's like, if I want to be able to run at least a half a mile away from something. Right. If it's still on my ass at my point, at that point, I deserve to die.
If you're still chasing me after a half mile, we definitely have a problem.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got bigger problems, dude. Yeah. I'm going to need a gun then or something,
Yeah. Well, even like with my cardio, because of my hip replacement a couple of years ago, I don't do long runs anymore. If I go for a run, it's a mile. And I try to push myself to stay inside a certain, range. But a lot of the cardio I do is in gym, based on bike, treadmill sprints, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love that stationary bike. I actually just got a brand new one. No.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Not an aero bike, but just a regular stationary bike.
Oh, okay.
I got a real nice Schwinn one, man. And you put that resistance high. It's just, you can simulate anything you need, but I've been loving that thing right now, just for pushing the cardio a little differently. But then I've got tires that I throw, and I've got a great area outside my gym for, throwing in a little bit of, runs and stuff like that in between my circuits, and, always keeping it interesting,
Yeah.
That's the other part of doing it at our age, making it as interesting as possible every day and making it something different.
Yeah.
It's great to have that right in-house. so I don't have to go and search for it. Plus, going to the big gym, kind of hard to get like 2 or 3 different machines or areas set up all at once if there's a million people in there working out. And it's a benefit of coming to this small, private facility where you can set up whatever the heck you want to do and get it done. Nobody's going to bother you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So moving on to Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday usually is like an open sparring day. So I'll do a lot of cardio that day. You know what I mean? Kind of keep it light just in case sparring. It's a little harder than I expect on Wednesday nights. But I have an open sparring night, so sometimes a lot of people will show. Sometimes nobody shows.
At your gym is open sparring?
Yeah, I do an open sparring to anybody, anywhere, that's interested in come getting some rounds in. We just do 3-minute rounds, and it's a lot of good technical work. Awesome. But yeah, if you're interested in coming by, all you got to do is message me and let me know how many guys you're bringing and what their experience is. Bring your gear. So yeah, I just try to open that up to the community and the, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just as a whole. Because I know a lot of people will travel around, go to different, facilities for different open gyms and stuff like that just to get more experience and new bodies to train with. So trying to be part of that environment as well.
Yeah.
And then Thursdays, usually right back to a little bit of weights. You know what I mean? I'll do like another circuit training day. Friday, I do mitts. I do a double workout on Fridays. So I'll hit, a little bit of weights or some mitts in the morning. And then in the afternoon conditioning. And then Saturday I spar. Sunday I take the day off and hang out with the ladies and go right back to it on Monday.
That's awesome.
So I will say this though. Regardless of what you do for training, right? Because everybody's training schedule, what's going to make them effective for what they're doing is going to be a little different, right? Like what I just explained is probably totally different than what you're doing, through this new program you have, right? But your program is making you effective.
It's kind of similar. I think it's just what I'm doing. I'm actually to get stronger was my goal, right? It's like I'm in the gym all the time. I'm moving weight around, but I'm just not getting stronger. And I think what Mel has set me up and with Reaper Strength Cartel, shout out, man, is just he's made me go to the gym less. Not go to the gym less, but I'm doing different stuff. I'm not picking up weights every time that I'm in there. And when I am picking up weights, a lot of it has been form that he's just picked me apart and like really got like technique down, like on bench press and stuff like that has got me to where, I'm back to like hitting some goals. So my goal is if I can bench my body weight 25 times, I'll be very happy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Love it.
It's not like huge astronaut, but that's still, that's 265 to 270 pounds.
Yep.
But it's all for that fight mentality if I have to. And I want to be able to do that dry run, you know, with like no warm up. Like in the event of a serious situation or something like that, that's kind of my goal. But so I do strength Monday, Wednesday, Friday, strength training. And then typically I'm doing cardio like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I'm always doing something, but no matter what, on those off days, if I can't get to the gym because my schedule's been so crazy, I'm at least doing a 20-minute walk 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So that's 3 miles, at bare minimum.
Well, that's the other benefit I get is I'm teaching a 9 a.m. class every day. I teach a 1 p.m. class every day. I teach a 5:30, 6:30 if necessary. We're just getting started, so it hasn't been super busy, but I'm having to do technique for another hour every day, and then I'm running through that conditioning with them. So the extra always helps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just thoughtless work at that point. You don't even really realize because you're focused on I'm going to do my workout for the day.
Yeah.
Not really think about all that extra stuff you did. And my point in asking you about the workout and like what makes you effective is, I will say this and shout out to my wife, is you can do whatever, workout you feel is making you more effective, right? And that's all good about picking stuff up, putting stuff down, however you do it, right, is up to you. But it's what you put in your mouth. I will say that about consistency, dude. Like people ask me, how do you look like that? I'm like, brother, it's what I eat. It really is. And I'm not trying to tell people out there that I'm on some crispy, you can't do what I do diet. I eat donuts at night sometimes, I enjoy my life, right? But the consistency in what I eat is 100% the key and what the difference is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't, you could try to do all those other things, but how well are you going to do them if you're not eating the right things?
Yeah, that's
if
something
you're
I
not
could be
properly
better at.
hydrating yourself, or with electrolytes or proper amounts of sodium, We don't know about those things when we're young, right? We're just, water, drink it, and you must be hydrated. We now know that's not really the case.
Sleep's a huge part of it too, man. I think sleep is, and I know that alcohol affects me tremendously. Like, it affects my sleep so much that honestly, that's why I don't really drink anymore. Yeah. Like, occasionally if I have a guest in here and he's, a war hero or not even a war hero, just somebody that served our country and he wants to have a whiskey, I'm not going to turn him down on it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
But I'm always grateful when they don't want to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like,
yeah. It was, wasn't this past weekend, it was a weekend before. I went to sparring on Saturday, and my coach, Zach, I had mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
He had went out for opening day. Okay. That's what it was, downtown.
Yeah.
And we show up and we're all, we're getting jazzy on the mats. We're all warming up. And he walked in and he had that look. And I went, oh, how was opening day?
Yeah.
He was like, dude, I remember why I don't drink. And I said, and seeing guys like you makes me remember why I don't drink. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Moving forward.
Not a horrible day.
But he did not spar that day. And, but it's, like I said, small moments like that. I don't need anybody around me not to drink or be any different.
Yeah.
I want you to be you, dude.
No, you're 100% right on the consistency, too.
Thank you for doing what you're doing while you're drinking and looking like crap the next day, or letting me know you feel like crap, because it just reminds me.
Yeah, and no good decisions come from that. Like, I've never gone to Taco Bell at 3:30 in the afternoon to get a meal.
Like, it was a good decision, right? You're like, yeah, I'm so glad I did that,
right. Yeah.
And, like, shout out to my wife. I'll say this as I'm just remembering. Like, I've only been sober, what, a year and a half?
Congratulations, man.
But she's been sober. How long? 22 years. Huge. It's crazy.
That's incredible.
So I have another stepdaughter who's her older daughter, and when she knew she was pregnant, she stopped right then and never went back.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild, dude. So that's like I said, like, her helping me quit when I did wasn't even her helping me. She was just like, you'll get to it when you do. You know what I mean? And that's exactly how it happened. You know what I mean?
It's your own personal
over here.
That's all right, man.
But yeah, it was just that cool. She just went about it the right way.
It's your own personal journey.
Yeah, and it should be your own choice. Otherwise, you're never really going to quit. Yeah.
I think the consistency, like you said, like, honestly, that's what's made me stronger, is like, I don't want to let Mel down.
Right.
Who's putting in his time and effort on me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like helped keep me accountable on those days where I could have found an excuse this morning, but I didn't.
Right.
Today is my gym day. Yeah. I go.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I got to get up at 5 in the morning
yep.
or 4 in the morning, I'm going to fucking get it in.
Yeah.
Like, no excuses.
Well, and how many times have you walked in, as hard as it is to get there, you walk in, even if you go at half speed, right? You're still there. You do the thing. You never feel worse when you leave.
Oh, never.
You're never like, oh, bullshit, bro. I should have never walked in there. You're crazy, dude. You know what I mean? So it's a better place regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the discipline to just show up. And that's what I'm trying to impress upon these first clients of mine and these first new students and members to my gym. All you have to do is show up and walk through that door at either this time or this time or this time. Everything else is out of your control. Just show up and let the work be done.
Yeah. And some days you're going to be, like, you might crush it and have a banner 2 weeks where you're, like, crushing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially for what I'm trying to do. But then it's a roller coaster ride. Like, you're not going to be that strong. You're not going to have gains every time that you go to the gym, too.
Nope.
I think that's important.
Nope. Like this past Saturday was a beautiful Saturday. You know, it wasn't like a bad day outside or anything like that. I woke up. I knew right away. I was like, not sparring today.
Yeah.
My wife thought I was joking at first. You know, she came in to wake me up and she's like, "You go sparring?" I'm like, "Nope." Then I got up anyway.
Got to listen to your body a little bit.
She's like, "So what time are you leaving?" And I'm like, "No, I was serious. I'm not going." You know, like, it's not happening today. And it wasn't that anything was wrong. I just felt like I've been working my ass off. Like you said, you know, I've been having some good weeks in a row, not feeling 100% on it today. So I'll just chill out.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes
something that I've recently
to take a rest day.
Yeah. And something I've recently adopted. Like, life has gotten so crazy between the podcast, what I'm doing business-wise, training, family. Like, Sunday, I'm really taking, like, unless my kids have something that they need to go do or sport or whatever, I'm always going to support that. But I really try to take it as much as like a Sabbath day and just shut everything off. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to work. I'm not going to worry about work. And man, that Sunday reset.
Yep.
is huge, you know?
Absolutely.
And I adopted that from my buddy, Coach Mark, you know, at Factory X. And that's just like his new thing, you know? And I think it has been for a while, but
take a day, reset.
Yeah.
You just got to be able to know when to do it and when.
And guess what? It sets me up for Monday are like my banner days.
Yep.
And they're my worst days in the gym too. the days I hate.
Right.
Getting on that squat bar and all the stuff I don't like to do. You know?
So early now, right? That bar's extra heavy. I feel like. Absolutely.
Yeah, but once you get going, you feel good.
Yeah.
Man, so the drinking thing, like, I think this is important for people to hear because they might be struggling with it. I know some people that are personally struggling with it. I've been able to, whatever I pick up, I've been able to put down on my own pretty well. I say that like my whole life, but I know how slippery that slope is too because I've seen so many people go down it. I guess, when did you make the decision and what was the hardest and the easiest part for you in that journey? Because and how do you feel now comparative?
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's probably the wildest part. Yeah. You know, it's like you figure like, you know, it's like when you do anything, you're like, oh, this must be the best it gets. No, it doesn't, dude. It just keeps getting better. It's weird, you know? And I'm sure it attributes to everything else that's involved, right? You know, I'm creating new endorphins. I'm doing wild stuff out there, you know, for my own body right now, which is great. So I'm sure it all plays into the same ballpark. But like, to answer your question was, well, first I had quit hard liquor some years back because I was going to kill myself. I was going to die. But then I was doing Mike's Hard Lemonade. Is that what it was? Yeah. But it was like a social thing. I was like, oh, I quit the hard liquor, right? I'll just drink this. And because I'm functional, I'm totally fine.
Right.
But then I stopped drinking beer altogether, and that's all I would drink. But then I would drink that all day.
But the sugar content in that is ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just killing myself anyway, you know. So, plus I was still smoking cigars. I was still smoking like Swisher Sweets. And then one day I'm like, you know what I mean? You're just kind of like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is dumb. That doesn't do anything for me. It's not like I'm getting drunk or I'm getting anything from it. It's just stupid, right? So that's how I quit. I was like, I'm done. I remember I looked right at her and I was like, no, I'm done with this tomorrow. Today's my last day. And she was like, are you okay? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm actually fine. This is going to be great. And, you know, she was just, I'm sure she was like, yeah, we'll see if he can stick with it. That was the last day, dude. That was it. You know, and I think shortly before that I had quit smoking, you know, the cigars. I was like, what the hell am I doing? You know, I'm out here holding mitts for people smelling like a cigar. It's a very weird thing, but people still had enough confidence in me that they were like, okay, we get it. He's just off right now. He's still Jay, but they were willing to deal with me and work with me, you know? So now, yeah, like I said, it's, I keep thinking it's gotten to this, like, okay, this is as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
It still hasn't hit that point, and I'm November 22nd, 2024, last day. So I inspire or encourage everybody out there that's thinking about it. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people struggle with it, dude, but it's really worth it to not do it.
Yeah.
Right? I can say it that way.
Damn, you're going on a year and a half then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, like I said, I thought when we were meeting last year, I was at the best moment of my life at that moment in time. You know what I mean? At that age and that, now I'm like, no, it's even better now. You know, if we're just talking about not drinking, forget about everything cool in life and all of these beneficial things. The drinking, not drinking is even better, you know?
This is more of a personal question, but in the back of your mind, is part of what helped you, what you're doing competitively now and how high the stakes are? Because the stakes have always been high for you in fighting, right? Like,
no, because I used to train and go out and have beers and do all that. Maybe it's because we were younger or whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I don't know. It was just not my time anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like so okay with it. You know what I mean? You know, my wife and I, we talk about it, not regularly, but it's like every once in a while, you know, you're like, because I used to do it for so long, you're driving home from work and you're like, oh, stop and grab a shooter or two, right? Well, on the way home. And it's a momentary thought, but it's not like, you know, that those moments are gone where, you know, you're not salivating or like freaking out.
Right.
It was never that type of a thing for me. It's just like, that's over for me now.
Man, for me, it's the brain fog too. there's no way that I would do a podcast on a hangover because I know I wouldn't be my best version of myself, and I'm trying to put my best version of myself on the scale. I care that much, right? Like,
well, as we get older, man, we're already suffering from like all of these chemical things that we don't even really know about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big believer in peptides, and started recently taking NAD plus, and
really,
I'm trying to stay the youngest version of myself possible, but it's not physically. Right? I'm trying to stay up here as sharp as I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if these little bit of things can help me to do that, then let's get it on. You know what I mean? I've already done all the hard work in quitting the drinking and the, getting crazy. Right now, I'm as healthy as I can be. So now let's fine tune the machine and see how much healthier I can really get. Still can't see. I don't know how I'm trying all this cool stuff, and they still haven't fixed these eyes yet. But I believe that they'll get to it. You know what I mean? Something will come. I believe, 100% that I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
So, and everybody's in trouble. If my eyesight comes back, you all are doomed.
Which is
the
craziest thing, man. Like, has it improved at all since the last time you've been in? Or
nope, nor gotten any worse. You know? Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever looked into taking any supplements for that?
Yeah.
Is there any peptides or anything that can help with that?
No.
Can you put BP 157 in your eyeballs?
I sure wish I could. I've shot it as close as I can get it to it. I promise you that, right? I was like, put it right here. No.
Yeah.
I think stem cells is probably the next thing I'm going to look at.
Yeah.
But I just don't have that kind of money. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's so crazy.
But it's an option.
Even the peptides are not cheap, right?
Oh, no. No, especially with it's not an insurance-based situation anyway. But I will say this, like when it comes to the peptide stuff and the NAD stuff, if you guys have questions about that, please reach out to me. Don't just go anywhere.
Can we talk about that right now?
Yeah,
because I'm super interested in it.
Yeah, I mean, for what little bit I do know, man, I would just say, like, because I have two guys that I deal with. One guy for peptides, and another guy that I deal with on the NAD stuff, and he also does his company. His name is David. His company is U.S. Mobile IV. And they do like in-home IV care.
Oh, I love those, yeah.
They send a legitimate doctor right in, to talk you through your IV, session, depending on whatever you get inside your IV bag, so on and so forth.
Are they here in Colorado? Or?
100%.
Can you look that up real quick, Derek? What was the name of the company?
U.S. Mobile IV.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's the one that turned me on to NAD. And I got to tell you, man, I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been taking it for probably a couple months now. A little bit on, a little bit off. I do like every 5 days. I take a dosage.
And through an IV?
No. I do it direct. And but you can do them through IV, and there's multiple ways you could do it.
Yeah.
I know with the NAD, the reason why I say like talk to my guys because there is definitely certain like past health risks. Like my wife's had cancer, so she can't take it because it can reignite or do certain things. It's way beyond my pay grade. So, like I said, I say, put you guys in touch with them directly.
Yeah, I've had NAD one time through an IV.
Pretty intense, huh?
I noticed a big difference. Well, first I thought I was having a freaking heart attack.
It's a pretty intense. Like I call it riding the lightning. Like the dosage that you take, it's a direct. You know what I mean? And I don't think it was as intense as when I did it through the IV bag, but it's definitely that you get that flush for about 15, 20 minutes. It's intense, but like I said, for the next couple of days, man, don't you feel amazing?
Yeah.
It's a different kind of a feeling. And
man,
it's like
I'm all about it.
People,
I actually I was thinking about starting an IV company just so I could take IVs a couple times a week because, man, I feel great. And
I'm a firm believer in them.
Yeah. I'd taken them on the road occasionally because on some of these tours, we used to have rock docs with us. And they were awesome people, man. Everybody thinks, they're just drug dealers, basically, which they kind of are.
IV therapy, though, for post-hangover and all of that, and a little bit of oxygen, I'm sure that'll help you.
Well, not only that, like they were just there on staff because our crews were so big, and you got people working 20-hour days, so they're checking you for stuff like dehydration. I remember the rock doc used to put a thing up at the urinals that we would use as a thing, and it was like grade your piss color, basically.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah. And if you're feeling... Oh, dang.
In their picture? Oh, yeah.
Cameo. The advertisement.
There we go. That's awesome.
There you go. They didn't have a trouble finding a vein on your arm, did they? Jeez.
Dude, my mother was a phlebotomist.
Okay.
Yeah, she used to chase me around the house when I was a little kid. That's why I'm terrified of needles to this day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a wild one. That's wild. I didn't know I was on that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, so for NAD stuff, guys, I would look these guys up for sure. You know, good company, legitimate. Used them a couple times, and I've actually had a fighter or two of mine.
Oh wow, they got
use them
facilities everywhere too.
Yeah, they do. They do a lot of different stuff, man. David's a good guy. I've known him since I was a young trainer at like 24 Hour Fitness. Young guy.
Okay,
he's known me a very long time.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and then when it comes to the peptide stuff, I mean, I go through another one of my guys, Jake Purdy. He's with Bioderm Pharmaceuticals.
Okay,
and he's in Denver as well. He was like the only trainer I'd ever had when I was a bodybuilder and I was young. And he went on to do like Mr. Olympia stuff. You know, he's a bodybuilder guy, and now he owns that company and provides to a lot of the clinics that are around and helps people out with, you know, their TRT needs, their peptides, stuff like that. So when it comes to those things, guys, I will say like I'm a firm believer, but 100% go to somebody that knows what they're talking about. Go to a doctor, get your blood work done, and then talk to these guys that actually know what the heck is out there. You know, because there's just so many great options is why I say that. It's not like there's something bad that you're going to get hurt from. There's definitely a way to take peptides. There's a lot of different benefits, but you want to make sure you're taking the right stuff for the right reasons.
There's so many peptides now too out there. It's kind of like, what do you need it for, right? Or 100%. What are you trying to achieve? 100%. Thing.
Anything's better than taking pills.
Yeah.
So look.
Are you doing it for like recovery or joints or anything like that?
I do it for all of that. Okay. Absolutely. You know, I'm like I was.
Have you noticed any arthritis getting to your age now with everything? Like,
so one of the other ones, the only other thing I take is methylene blue.
Really?
Yeah. And I was having like neuropathy pains, like weird nerve pains in my feet really bad when I was, for a long time, right? Like post-fighting. So for years and years, could have been the drinking, could have been not been the drinking. You know, it was one of those, like I didn't have gout or anything, but it was like, especially in my right foot. And I was like, oh, I just kick people a lot. You know, I always played it off to that. But I started taking methylene blue like a year ago. And they talk about one of the major effects of that is it stops with that nerve type of pain and stuff like that. And
really?
I got to say, I have zero.
I know it's doing phenomenal stuff for cancer too.
Yep. Yep. So, like I said, I mean, the couple things that I take are just to keep me here as long as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think
what
that's
I do
what
with the body of work is up to me, right?
Yeah.
I'm as healthy as I'm trying to make myself as healthy internally as I can so I can be around when she's older, you know?
Yeah.
I'll make it a cool trip, you know?
Yeah, that's
checking out too early.
Yeah, that's important. It's very important. I mean, that's why I do it. But yeah, man, like I've never felt better than after taking IVs, and then if I could afford to get them once a week, I would.
Oh,
I'd
100%.
get them multiple times a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, especially with all the vitamins and all of that stuff.
Yes.
There was a place that I had went pre-meeting these guys, and they would do like a direct shot in your butt when you were done, and it was like taurine or something like that. And I'd never tried anything like that, and they were, you have an option of one of these ones. Oh, I'll take that one. That was like, I was like a race car in the red after that all day. I was like, they weren't joking around. Like they're onto something there. Yeah. Like you said, can I go back here daily?
Right.
If you could just give me one of those a day, I'll be just fine. I'll get through the whole day. No problem.
No, it's amazing. Like it was funny when I really got back into it. I was using a company, shout out to Gunner over at Rocky Mountain IV. Mm-hmm. So I, fortunately through COVID, like everybody was shut down, including the rock docs. So COVID finally came to our house, right? And it was early on. I think it was in I guess not that early. It was in October, but it was the first time that I had it, right? And my doctor at the time, shout out, was awesome, but they weren't doing shit, and I was a little scared, man. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I didn't know what I was getting into. Now I'm just like, COVID, psh, whatever. I know how to treat that. But they, the doctor that I had called had said, this is a doctor that worked with some like really high level people, and he was like, well, you can do what they're telling you to do, or this is the presidential protocol. I was like, I'll take the presidential protocol. And it was expensive. Mm-hmm. But man, I felt better after doing all those treatments. Like I went and got the monoclonal antibodies. Somehow he set that up for me. And then they just totally wiped that off the shelf after they found out how well it was.
I remember Rogan talking about that stuff.
Yeah. And then I did an IV drip with high dose vitamin C, all that sort of stuff. And then there were some other prescriptions, which I'm not even going to say them on here because it'll flag the episode. But
understood.
But yeah, that was the regimen I was on, and I felt better than before I had COVID and was like totally healthy. And I was like, man, there's something to this. So yeah, I love getting the IVs with those vitamin drips are the way to go.
Yeah, I don't know how people didn't really know about that earlier.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was an up and coming guy, I would try anything, just like I said, just see if it worked. But I used to do the hyperbaric chambers.
Oh yeah.
That's a weird process too. Sitting in there, they put the mask on you, but you actually get in, they seal you right up in there, and then they flood that thing with oxygen. You feel pretty alive after you get out of one of those things. I used to bring my laptop in there, and I would just hang out for an hour and the mask on, and they come in, let you know when you're done, and open you up. But, there's a lot of cool things that you can do to really amp your performance. You know what I mean? That's just completely natural stuff. So
yeah, no, it's crazy, man.
Well, the thing with like peptides right now is a lot of people don't know. Like I was talking with my barber about it this morning, and he's, did you got to use a needle? It's like a taboo. And I'm like, yes, but it's a very small needle. They have other options. You don't always have to do it needle wise, but you know what I mean? And so it's still people are interested, which is great, because he's also an older guy as well. He's early 40s. And I'm like, you may want to look into it, you know what I mean? And just do your own research. If you have questions, then I can put you in touch with somebody. But I don't try to push it on anybody. Yeah. I think more people should just know about it because it is natural. It's really freaking good for you.
I know so many people that have had success with it. Well, Gertz is another one.
Yeah.
He
from real serious injuries, absolutely. Yeah. I take it, like I said, my barber was asking this morning, why do you believe in it? I'm like, you got to figure, dude, I get into a car accident like 3-4 times a week, depending on the week. And I'm an older guy, and I'm going with guys that are like half my age. So I'm getting banged up pretty regularly, and I need to be able to get up and go teach a class the next day and stuff like that and be able to hang out with these two, and do my thing. So life never stops. So I take it as a precautionary. You know what I mean? Since I was here last, I actually completely tore my left bicep.
Really?
Yeah. First, I tore the bicep tendon, and I thought it was okay. So I waited like a week or two, and it was still pretty bad. And then, of course, I went right back to sparring, and I caught a kick and caught my fingertips on somebody's shin pad, and it completely tore my bicep all the way up.
No way.
High. And no surgery, though. All peptides, stretching, my own rehab, no doctors, nothing like that. And I'm completely healed, back to 100%. Of course, my bicep looks a little different than the right arm now, but my right arm was always my juicy arm anyway. But yeah, I mean, completely healed on my own, you know what I mean? And I'm actually rehabbing a lady right now that's got a real similar problem. Don't think hers was as bad as mine, but so like I said, I'm living and I'm learning and I'm still trying to help and inspire other people that surgery is not, an option. Come see me first. Maybe we can do something else to help you.
Yeah, no, I always encourage people that I know that are injured, like start with a really good physical therapist, man. Like that can get you a long ways. And then we're living in such a fascinating time with peptides and NAD and, hormone replacement. And like none of this stuff was around when you and I were in our 20s, that I knew of. Nope. And it's like, it's just a different, I'm going to be shocked to see where we're at when we're 80 and we're sitting here having a conversation.
Absolutely.
Freaking rad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The one,
and staying away from poison, I think is a big part of it. That whole little shelf right there is full of poison.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
And there's some in the refrigerator too,
Well, I think that's the part of it, It's so relative and relevant.
Yeah.
Like like my dad, he's in his mid 70s, and sometimes I still worry about him because I'm like, yeah, what are you doing? And I'll call, he's an old dude, in the country, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple cocktails. That's how he says that every single time. And I'll either say, okay, Pops, I'll call you tomorrow, or he'll say, just be forewarned. You know what I mean? But I'm like, what's the point?
I guess the way I personally look at it now is like, does this enhance my life or the experience that I'm in?
Yeah.
And it's not even like to get the buzz. It's more of like the social, I don't know. It's not really an excuse, but I think that there's some benefit to relaxing socially or putting yourself, not that this sounds really bad, not that the alcohol is doing it, but it's actually in partaking in like some sort of ritual or something to be just with your friends, like some sort of common bond, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, when I quit drinking, right? Like relearning traits like that. Like you don't really think about it until it happens. But like seeing you a couple weeks ago, at the Stampede during the day, and I saw you. You're standing at the bar, which was fine, right? And I'm like, I'll just wait over here. Because normally I would go up and be like, give me a blue moon or whatever, right? So I just chilled over here, and as soon as you turned around, you saw me. We chopped it up for a couple minutes, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just like those little things that I don't do.
You know what was funny? You know what I was getting at the bar? Soda water.
There you go. Yeah. But it was like just even going to the bar.
It looks like I'm just slamming drinks, but like honestly, it's how I get through like those situations if I don't want to drink. And then if somebody, will ask me straight out, are you having a drink? I go, are you having a drink? If you're having a drink, I'm having a drink.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's just like I go upstairs in there because they have that little food area. So I get a couple Gatorades. So I don't even go to the bars. It's just a normal thing. I don't, like she works in a bar or in a restaurant, that has a bar up front.
Yep.
They used to sponsor me for 100 years. And that was like my Friday chill spot. Go in and get some wings, burritos, and, have a couple shots and head out of there. I don't even go in there anymore. She's like, you don't come see me at work. If I do, I pull up in the back. She comes out of the kitchen, says hi to me, you know what I mean? And I drive off. It's just, I have no interest.
Yeah, it's easier.
It's just like, what's the point? I don't, it's not like it's pulling at my heartstring or anything. I'm just like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I do the little Zen pouches, here and there.
Me too.
I could go to the liquor store and get them. I don't, right? I just go to the convenience store.
Yeah.
Just little things like that you just
I'll hook you up with a can of these before you leave.
Yeah.
We got a sponsor.
Oh, boy.
K-Nick, and they're out of Wyoming. Awesome young dudes that put these together, and they're affordable. They're better for you. There's more in the pouch. Like,
perfect.
It's awesome. Yeah. They're really good company.
By the way, if you guys sponsor the Mountainside podcast, I love all you guys. Please don't do my guy dirty at all.
No, they're awesome. Yeah, I am a user. That is one of my vices.
Well, I know you said after last year's episode that you got a little bit of feedback, and I don't want you guys to ever have to do any, get any negative feedback because you have a guest on, you know what I mean? And I promised everybody out there I'm a really good dude. I'm just a normal guy.
We lost a sponsor over your episode, but I was like, you know what? If you don't want, it was a mutual goodbye at that point.
No,
it was like... Yeah,
I was wowed when I heard that. I was like,
I really don't care.
Yeah. Well,
because to me,
we're here now. We're doing the thing.
And guess what? Boy, did they miss out.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what's crazy about that. So I said 25,000 views. That's on the full episode that people are watching like start to stop. We made a bunch of shorter content, and I think some of those are like 500,000 or more, like, so you put them together collectively,
like, where are
millions
these
of views.
I can't even, in my brain, I can't comprehend.
It's so insane. Yeah. It's awesome, man. And we don't do that for every episode, Jason. So like, yeah.
When you called, I was like, so what's that mean? Where are we going from here? I don't even, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I've, checked it, or I know she's told me a couple times throughout the year, since we were here last time. And she's like, there's a lot on there.
Yeah.
We're not big internet or numbers people. We don't know how all of it works. But it's like, that seems like a truckload of people to like click on something to watch me talk about something crazy for a couple minutes. You know what I mean? But what a cool concept.
Well, it's so fascinating what you're doing. I think that's part of it. But more importantly, your honesty goes so far, man. I think that's why I've had success here is the honesty that I bring. And I'm not going to let people tell me when and where or how to do it or try to censor us in any sort of way.
Yeah.
Like it's when I had you on, it wasn't for the views.
Yeah.
It was to get to know Jason and figure out this totally
cool story,
fascinating world that I had no idea about.
Yep.
And, we talked pretty heavily on the phone, I think probably for like 45 minutes or something before I even had you up. Like I had to figure out who you were. And man, I was like, you know what?
The vetting process was difficult. Right?
Pause it right here, dude. Let's just talk about it when you come in.
Yeah.
Because like I was trying to wrap my head around, and I think a lot of people, why would you go and do that? Or could I personally go and do that? And now I know the reason why, and I'm rooting for you, like hands down. Like I want to see nothing but Jason Lee win.
I appreciate that. Like even I had a gentleman in, I mentioned him yesterday. Did I mention the two gentlemen that came into the gym yesterday?
I don't know if we did on mic, but we can talk about it again. Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick. Like
I don't think we were recording, but we briefly touched on it.
Yeah. So I've got a buddy here in town. His name is Alex. Big shout out to KGB Alex. We'll leave it at that. He'll know who I'm talking about. But he was in town and he was coming to work out with me yesterday, and he gave me a shout in the morning and said that he had a buddy in town from Belarus, and he is his name's Yuri Balat. But he wanted to bring him in, and he's a multiple-time Muay Thai world champion and K1 kickboxer, so on and so forth. Older gentleman, but came in and blessed me with some time yesterday, which was absolutely cool. But the reason I bring it up is it's exactly what he asked me. He got geared up, and we're talking, and he's like, I just got to ask you. He's like, why are you doing this? He said, how much are they paying you? And I just looked right at him. I said, well, it ain't that kind of money. I can guarantee you that. Whatever you're thinking in your head right now, it's not like that. I said, but I'm also not doing it for that. I said, I'm doing it for me. And I said, that's what makes me so effective in doing it. Yeah, I said, yeah, there's some thousands of dollars in it. Don't get me wrong. But is it life-changing money or something that you're doing to change? No, I'm still doing that work daily to change my life. But the work that I do when I'm over there is helping me to be that person that I need to change my life daily. You know what I mean? So I'm still getting to express myself. This isn't about the money. I need everybody to understand we're not doing this for fortune and fame, and super honored. I'm just a guy, getting to come up here a second time is super cool because I see the caliber of people that you're having on your show and the quality of what they bring. I'm super just honored to be here. Like I think I said it on my first episode.
People,
I'm like, dude, I'm just honored to be here, man. I'm just riding this thing out. This is amazing,
We're honored to have you, man. Like, there couldn't be anybody better in the community, Jason. So, the feeling is mutual, man. And that's what it's all about for me here is, like, I want everybody to win in the community, man. And it's like, half the roster that's been on. Like, we've had Coach Jake on since you've been on. We've had...
Isn't he cool, man?
Oh, Jake's salt of the earth, man. Like, I love that.
He just called me the other day. I reached out about because I always, right before my fights and I start to travel, I reach out to the guru.
Yeah.
And if he gives me a seal of approval, then I know I'm ready. I can go anywhere and fight anybody, So I'd reached out to him and he called. He's like, well, I'm out of town for the next 6 weeks. And he was, I got this one this weekend, then Chris next weekend, and then Gertz and then I'm like, Coach, I said, how are your frequent flyer miles,
Yeah.
But love the guy to death. I was actually, I was able to go to his 50th birthday party at his house and stuff. Super cool. Got to see Rose and Pat and a couple of the other fighters there as well. But I can't believe I've been in that guy's life, or he's been in my life as long as he has, So I was super happy you finally had him on here. And following as well with the next episode that I just saw with you and Luke. Luke's like a huge inspiration. I bring him up again real quick because can I tell a story about Luke?
Yeah, dude.
I don't even know if he'll remember this, dude, but this is a cool story. So back in our day when you first got invited from your amateur gym up to the world famous Grudge training center back then, right? And you get this meeting with the Trevor Whitman, and I was nervous as could be, right? So I remember I show up at the training facility, I get my gear, I go in the back, and I see Trevor. And Luke's in there. He was the only other guy in the gym working out by himself, and he was just finishing up whatever he was doing, all sweaty, and make an introduction to Trevor. Hey, I'm Jason Lee, normal stuff. And Luke's walking by after we had made small talk, and he's like, he said, Coach, to Trevor. He said, you know who this kid is? And I was kind of like, oh, crap. I was like, oh, what's he going to say? And he said, man, they call me Little Hulk. He said, they should call this kid the Big Hulk. And I remember, like, as a fighter, young dude, I was like, dude, that was so honorable. Like, he just gave me his name real quick. And from that moment on, Luke and I have always been cool. He's cornered me in some of my title fights and cornered me a couple different times. I know he has. And just to see that guy grow like that. But for him to give me his name like that, you know what I mean? And I was like, he's always been one of my aces, one of kind of like big brother.
Yeah.
I think he's even younger than me, but everybody's younger than me. But anyway, it's like to see him grow and just to see what he's done like with his family and his kids and all the podcasts and you know, his work and growing with Gaethje and stuff like that. It's, if you think you can accomplish something, like when people are looking at me as inspiration, I'm like, look at this dude.
He's going to the White House in a couple months.
You know what I'm saying? Through fighting, right? I talk about traveling over the pond somewhere, right? These guys get to do that all the time. The White House?
Yeah.
That's what he was. I know. He was like, dude, I get to do this at the White House.
Main event at the White House.
Insanity.
Too. Yeah.
You know?
That's...
So a lot of hard work. But like I said, those are the kind of guys that are inspiring me. You know, I'm listening to these stories like, I haven't even scratched the surface yet. You know?
That's awesome, man.
Just honored to be part of the group, man. So thank you very much. You know
yeah, dude. We're stoked to have you. We're very lucky here, and Luke, you know, has been nothing but supportive of me. Like us starting podcasts at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know about him or his podcast or anything when we started this. And I think maybe he started like a month before us. So we've been kind of like tracking each other.
Yeah.
But there's never been 1 ounce of like competition. It's been nothing. Like when I first reached out to him, I was like, I don't know how this is going to go because he's right down the road.
Yeah.
We were having some of the same guests on, but we didn't know each other. And right away, man, I just knew like this dude is cool and salt of the earth, and we've done nothing but help each other since then. And he does that with a lot of people, I think.
Was he in like UFC like 6 or 7? he was in the UFC so long ago, dude.
Yeah, dude, it was a very long time ago.
Absolutely love it. WEC, UFC. He was there like from literally day one of me walking into the big boy gym.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean? He was that guy. Yeah, he's never been. That's probably the other reason, you know, people love him. He's never been any different than exactly what he is. That stupid smile.
Yeah.
He's just goofy. Can't keep a serious note for, you know, more than a minute or two. He's always been the exact same guy. Even when I watch him on the TV, you know, joking around and doing the pre-fight stuff or whatever they do, I'm like, that's how he's been. Never changed.
He's genuine and he's infectious, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like his personality puts you in a good mood.
Like be serious, but don't be too serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You can have a shit day, but there's some words of wisdom in there too.
Oh,
even
absolutely.
with his like broken English and the made up words and stuff, like that dude spits some wisdom sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like I think we caught it really well on the last time he was in. Mm-hmm. We made a clip, you know, and I love that part where he was sitting there talking and he said, you know, I've been super lucky, but you want to know what's funny about it? The harder I work, the luckier I get. And I was like, it's so true.
I definitely heard him say that.
Yeah.
Yep. It's such the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. There's 2 other guys I wanted to mention. I know we spoke about one of them over the phone, so I'll just put them on blast.
Yeah.
But there's 2 guys I would love to see on your podcast.
Okay.
So influential in Colorado when it comes to just community, period. One of the guys is Brandon Thatch. We call him the Ruckus. But his dad, his father was like an iconic figure. He was like the Yoda of Colorado mixed martial arts and martial arts just as a whole. So Brandon Thatch, if you're hearing this, you know, I'm going to give Bobby your information, let him reach out to you.
What are you doing next week, Brandon?
Exactly. He's the owner of 3D Martial Arts,
Okay.
runs one hell of a kids program, dude, and his dad ran the program before that. He passed away now. But his dad, like, there probably wouldn't be, like, Colorado mixed martial arts wouldn't be who it is or what it is without his dad. He was like that inspirational to even all the early coaches, like the big name coaches we're already talking about, the Montoyas, the Ramoses, the Whitmans. He was inspirational to those kind of guys and early on. So super cool guy. And Brandon's got a great story as well. And then the other guy is Vinny Lopez, Vinny the Assault Lopez. I don't think they call him the Assault anymore. Now he's just Vinny, but that's another guy I would definitely, he's super inspirational to me. He does a lot of, spoken word stuff right now. He's helped me to kind of change how I'm approaching certain things. And him and I come from a very similar criminal background, did some time, had some, shady stuff. We both came into the fight industry at the same time, same weight class. And he was a guy that I was like always terrified to spar with. You know what I mean? And, like I said, turned into a great human now. You know what I mean? He's really motivational. And another guy like for Colorado and guys like us that are, going through hard times or really trying to overcome that next thing. Super solid guy as well. So
consider it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Guys, trust me. Come
that's
talk
part
to
of
this
the
dude.
community, man. Like a friend of yours is a friend of mine just because I know you so well now. And I think that that's like kind of part of the process. And it's also why I've had success, man. It's like giving those people a platform too, man. So I'd be honored
these aren't
to.
like buddies of mine. These aren't guys that I talk to every day. These are guys that I used to know, that I see them. When I see them, it's all love. But then I'm seeing them online now and doing certain things, and I'm like, these guys are making a difference, man. And I see how they've changed and matured as people. Those are people that more people need to hear from.
Absolutely.
Because wasted time and opportunity.
Speaking of that, the anti-bullying program, are you still a part of that, or is that still up and running?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's called Bully This, for those that haven't heard of it. And it was incepted when I made my professional debut. I couldn't even tell you in MMA like what year that was. Long time ago. But I'd said a little something in the cage that night about, being bullied as a kid and some of the struggles that I'd had and how we just needed to come together as a community and help the kids. And within like 24 hours, I was receiving emails and messages to go and meet with people or go talk at schools and stuff like that. So I started that journey right then. I started public speaking, working one-on-one, doing group stuff, going to elementary schools and, meeting with underprivileged groups and stuff like that. Went to Muslim schools because they were having a lot of hatred during the 9/11 times and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was going to those type of schools. Went to Wyoming, did some mega churches and spoke about my story and some of the struggles and stuff. So it really caught on, and obviously I took some time away from fighting, so didn't work as much with kids. But yeah, it's called Bully This, and it's really just based on the utilization of martial arts to help empower our kids. And however you want to take that, take it, but every, type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, every theory that I use with the kids, every way that I approach it is from a martial arts based standpoint, but it's about how are we going to overcome this stuff in real life. And I think that's what these kids need more of is empowerment, the ability to be themselves and to know that they are capable of handling situations.
There's no better place to do that than on the mats too, man. Because I think there's a gym up here, and shout out to Brazilian Top Team up here and another UFC vet, Dave Roberts, Professor Roberts. He's fucking awesome. He fought back in the UFC like a million years ago.
Right.
Yeah, great dude though. But they're doing this kind of a similar thing. I should connect to you guys together,
Absolutely.
right? Because I'm sure that there's some collaboration or something. And what a great message! And they're just doing it. It's not a monetary thing, right? Like they're just genuinely helping.
Yep.
But being involved a little bit with that program, and I'd be happy to be involved at your program. I was bullied as a kid, and I think it's super important, man. Especially nowadays, I put a big emphasis on suicide awareness and suicide prevention. And you start looking at it's a touchy subject, but you start looking at it that the youth is being heavily impacted by it. And one of the things that's impacting it so much is bullying, right? And the use of like social media and some of these platforms that you and I are on, like you can't get away from them unless you choose to get away from them. And if that's part of your social life, back when you and I were going to school, we were bullied at school, but it didn't follow us home, man. Once we got off that bus, you had different friends or whatever, right? Or you could kind of get away from it. And I think now kids are having a hard time to get away from it. And I don't think that they truly can get away from it now, because of the social media aspect, because every person has a platform anywhere that they go, anytime that they want.
Absolutely.
So it's like we got to combat it, right? Like you have to combat it. But I think one thing that I kind of take into consideration is like, let's get the bullies on the mats too, because like some of the most humbling moments for me and my most embarrassing moments in my life is being in a combat sports situation and not performing, right? Like you can attest to this. And I think that that's very humbling in its own right. And I think that that's why I connect so well with like fighters and guys from special operations is you guys are the most humble, genuine, honest people for the most part, right? There's bad eggs or shitbirds and everything, right? Yeah. But for the most part, like as a whole, somebody that me sitting down with you, King of the Streets fighter, tattoos on the neck, yoked, phenomenal shape, could be very intimidating. And I was intimidated the first time. And you could have very easily turned that into an intimidation podcast where you're grilling me, but that was never the case. Like, I've never felt comfortable. Like, I would drop my kids off at your house, Jason.
Right.
There's some dads that look like, you know, spaghetti that I wouldn't take them over to their house. But it's like, you know, I guess what I'm getting at is, like, I think that there's no better place to be humbled or also empowered than on a mat, man. And you can do both. So, like, you can take the bullies and the kids that are being bullied, and it's growth for both of them.
Yeah. I've always been that guy, and I've owned multiple gyms throughout my years, and, you know, I've always been called the fight you anywhere, anytime kind of guy, you know, but I've also always been the open door policy guy. You know, we've all seen the gym videos of guys walking in, I want to fight the black belt. And I've always said to guys, if you got a problem online, all you got to do is show up and sign the waiver, and I'll give you as much time as you need. And you show up with the proper gear, and I'm that guy. I'll give you the business. There's no problem. I have no issues with that. I'm a martial artist, but I'm not too proud to teach somebody a lesson, that there's a reason, there's levels to this, right? And one guy throughout all of the hundreds of years I've been doing this, it seems like, you know, in all those potential situations, one guy showed up, signed the waiver, utmost respect for him in the world, but he lasted maybe 2 minutes. And then he became a client of mine and a student for like the next 6 months. You know what I mean?
About that story? Or?
Yeah. It was just a guy that I knew. He just was one guy that had a problem and was willing and actually showed up. I mean, you know, out of, let's say, 20 over the years, I'll come to your gym and kick your ass. Cool, just sign the waiver, man, you know. And that guy actually showed up. But yeah, it was just gear up, take your time, stretch out, mats are there, and let me know when you're ready. And, you know, that's when I was, like, fighting for glory. So I was at the top level kickboxing. This kid didn't stand a chance. I was just like, let me know.
Did he have any street cred or anything?
Yeah, he definitely had, like, some knowledge. And he was a lefty, you know, so he had a little bit of something. But it doesn't take long to break that stuff down, you know. So, yeah.
Man, I think it's Hickson Gracie's book, Breathe. Have you ever checked that out?
Nope.
Yeah, check out the audiobook, is awesome.
Okay.
Too, but see if you can look that up to see if I got it right. It's Breathe. Yeah.
Can we take a break for a minute?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool?
If you're not checking out the Mountainside podcast on YouTube, you absolutely should be. If you like the content that we create here and you want to help support the podcast, please take a moment, subscribe to us on YouTube, and hit that notification bell.
Yeah, we are back. Thank you. Needed a quick break here.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you said something.
Let my ladies free for a couple minutes as well.
That's cool that you brought them up, man.
You know what,
Not many people do that, you know, like it's...
Mama never gets to see, like, the fun stuff, and she always says that she's very polite, you know, like, I never get to go to do the cool stuff. I want to go travel with you. I want to go do podcasts, and, you know, and I'm like I said, it was just a question that I had for you. You're like Monday or Tuesday, and if I can incorporate them, you know.
Oh, dude, it's an absolute yes. I think it takes a real giant to sit in that seat and still be genuine and be able to do the type of podcast that the Mountainside is and have your family here.
Yeah.
I think that speaks to you on just how open you are.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I'm building a strong young creature right there. You know what I mean? My little daughter, she's amazing. You know what I mean? Right. She doesn't know the impact she has on me yet, I don't think. Yeah. But, you know, she gets me emotional. I'm blessed, you know what I mean? To have a little girl, right?
Yeah.
Like I talk about my son, you know, he's a big rugged dude. He's about to have his first kid. I'm sure I'm going to be, you know, an absolute mess when all that happens as well. But I'm an emotional guy, you know. Without the emotion, I may have killed half the people in my life. You never know, you know. But
little girls are a different thing, man.
It's such a cool, wild thing, dude. And now she's getting to like that age where she's got an opinion. She's super smart. She's super artistic.
Yeah, math sucks, dude.
And yeah, right. You know, and it's cool. Like we had one of those moments a couple weeks ago where she brought something home, and it was science homework, but it was math. You know, having to change theorems and you know add multiple things together. And her and I are on a really good wavelength because I've always handled the math portion of stuff. Okay. And Mom was sitting there making dinner, you know, and I'm saying, okay, well, we took the quarts, you know, we converted those into the gallons earlier, but then we had this left over. And my wife said, are you guys speaking Spanish? She goes, what are you guys talking about? And I'm like, but watch her. I was like, she 100% understands. She's very sharp for, I don't give her enough credit because she's so small.
Oh, man.
Like
and the
in
confidence
stature,
to hop on here and like, dude, I'm not a small dude. Like, look at this table's got a bunch of death and coins and American flags. And like, it's awesome, man. That's was such a good confidence booster too.
Like I just give her the choice. Because I'm a crazy dude. Like, I'm that dad, and I'll be like, she'll be like, oh, look at the river. I'll be like, you want to go jump in it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm that guy. We'll go right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, so she understands that, and sometimes it's, yeah, Dad, I'm in. But I'll know if the answer is not yes right away. She's like, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you going to come hang out with me, though? Yeah. I'll watch you do it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But she needs to have that in her life, And she trained martial arts for a couple years. We took a little time off because she wanted to focus on school. But just this past Sunday, I had invited some people in just for fun. I said, I'm going to hold a class at like 1 o'clock if you guys want to come. And her and Mama jumped in the class. And it's probably been 6 months, right, since she's, hit anything. I called out the combos, all right, timer's on, right, boom, round started. I looked over and she's just boom, 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 throwing her knee and step back. I'm like, she didn't forget anything. They're just such sponges, you know what I mean?
Oh, they are, man. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. So, like, be careful what you do say at home. And really, I mean, use your mouth as a weapon, man. Yeah. It's the sharpest weapon you have, honestly.
And, like, I can come on here and I can say everything and, whatever. I can say anything I want, right? But it's what you do at home that really matters,
Yeah.
If my daughter was an ass, right? It's just like your dog, right? If you have a dog, and your dog's kind of a dick, usually because the owner's an ass.
Right.
Right? So the kids, I think, are a reflection just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to be able to see her so confident in multiple areas, math, science, her artistic ability. I'm like the stick man that I make the stick man look bad. And her artistic ability is like through the roof. So just seeing her like growing in so many different areas. And she explains that she likes science because there's so many different facets to it.
Right.
And I'm like, what a cool thing.
And there's some creativity to it, too.
Oh,
right?
and before I even forget, like, we're talking to her a little bit, but I'll say this, like, just 2 weeks ago, she come home with Student of the Month. And I made a post about it on the internet, but it wasn't that she got it for, like, kids get it for, like, good grades, or they get it for perfect attendance, right, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I read the thing. She got it for integrity. And, like, just a little excerpt they'd written. I'm sure it was a cheesy thing they'd copy and pasted, but integrity. And I was like, how cool is that in 5th grade that it's not about attendance, things that kids would normally be excited about. But I was like, integrity. I was like, that's really good, sweetie. And she read me what it said. She was super proud of herself. But I'm like, at 5th grade, that just shows, I think, a different thought pattern maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we got hope for this one. It's still not proof in the pudding. She's still young, but like I said, it's cool to see.
Year round, I mean, with your past and the way you grew up, like how influenced you can be by certain people, man. And it's important to have that rock and that cornerstone, right?
Yeah.
Dude, she just checked her first box on her first podcast, so
I can't even imagine what that's. Wait till it comes out.
She'll be at
school like, look what I...
Well, you got to call him back up here. We got to get her to sign the door.
Most definitely.
Okay?
Most definitely.
We've got to do that.
Absolutely.
Before we walk out of here.
You were talking about a book.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to bring it up before we missed it.
You'll appreciate this book probably more than the average person, but it's Rick's and Gracie's story, and it starts at his childhood with his dads and his brothers, and, those are the guys that really brought combat sports to the level that it is today in jiu-jitsu, and like it's just an awesome book. But there's a ton of stories of guys just showing up at his dad's gym, and then Rickson fighting in Valley Tudo, and why Hoist was picked as like the golden child to go fight in the UFC. It's a fascinating book.
And what's the name of it again?
Breathe. Yeah, Derek's got it pulled up here.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's an awesome book, and
I'm an audiobook guy. So
me too.
I'm all over it.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I didn't. No disrespect, dude.
No, I saw how you threw that in there. I was like, duly noted.
So I have dyslexia, man. And
do you?
For me to sit down and read, I can do it, no problem. Like I do it for work all the time, reading like some pretty high level emails and stuff like that I really have to pay attention to. But it's just something like if I'm just leisurely reading for fun, I don't actually retain it for some reason.
Yeah.
And honestly, audiobooks is what helps me fall asleep, man. Because I can just put myself in that zone. Now with all these crazy apps, you can set a timer.
Yeah.
And it goes off within 20 minutes, and I'm fucking zonked out.
Gone.
I'm not worried about tomorrow or any of the stuff, you know.
I went through like that whole phase last year with the Goggins book. There was a couple different ones, man. That audiobook was awesome for me last year.
I guess I'm more down the inspirational side
Oh,
of
absolutely.
books.
Like, and I want to hear somebody else that's been through it and
history
done it.
Stuff too.
There was a hunter guy that I followed as well, and all he was a hunter, but his application of like...
Is it Cameron Haynes?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a
wow, bro. Whatever that book was called.
Yeah.
That guy, like you said, just change your theory on what's possible.
He's got a few different books.
It was a red cover is all I remember just from looking at it on audiobooks. But somebody had turned me on to it, and it was like perfect timing.
He's a stud. He's actually a big reason why we have an audience.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, why you're
He's a bow hunter, right?
Today, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what he started talking about. He's like, I'm just a bow hunter, man, but...
Dude, we had him on, or I'm sorry, we didn't have him on.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had Coach Mark Montoya on.
Okay.
Him and Mark, both bow hunters. And somehow we came up on Cameron Haynes, and this was 6 years ago or something. And I just said, he was getting a bunch of hate at the time or something. I can't remember. But basically, I just said, well, if you're not a Cameron Haynes fan, you can just turn the podcast off right now. And it was our 4th episode. Right. Don't go and listen to it because, dude, I was so bad at this, man. Horrible. It's
calling
embarrassing.
Out.
There's been so many times where I've hovered over the delete button, the first 100 episodes probably, dude. I could delete. I wouldn't feel bad about it, but it would be a bummer for my guests. But anyways, Cam reshared it.
Yeah.
Like on his page to 1 million followers, and it was like, boom, overnight.
Yeah.
We had this
connection.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I figured out how social media worked that day.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. It's kind of like when you found out coming on here, I was like, Jason, wait, dude, this is going to be, this is going to go good. But yeah, so that book Breathe is awesome. But yeah, any of those inspirational books, like Cam's a stud too. Like he's a good dude. He's done a lot for Colorado too, man.
Has he really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know anything about him. I just got turned on to the audiobook and I'm like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Sitting in my ice bath outside, just, listening to that stuff.
Yeah. Cam, if you're listening, we're still waiting for you to show up here, buddy.
Absolutely. And Cam, I know I don't know much about you, man. I never met you, but I was referred to like I said, I was referred to you just on a whim. And you helped me prepare a lot for what I went through last summer, man. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
That's rad.
Absolutely. And inspiration's everywhere, man.
Yeah.
We just got to put more of it out there. It seems almost impossible, but it's what I do every day. And I'm like, I don't know how we can put any more out here. People just need to believe in it and, start walking the path.
Yeah. Right.
Isn't he the one that has the saying that I think I use, choose the hard right path over the easy wrong path? I think he's the one that coined it or he talks about it a lot. Maybe he had it from somebody that...
I know his big one is, his most iconic one is keep hammering.
Okay, right.
Because I know that I can send him 3 hammer emojis and he knows what it means, But the other one that I love of his, and I actually have it up in the gym, I like it so much, is nobody cares, work harder.
Absolutely.
Because nobody does care what you're doing or where you've been or what your accolades are. Like
Jocko. Yeah. I heard that one from him.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Just work harder. Yep. You're going to get through it. You know what I mean? Nobody really cares. That's so true though.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Do you think that's a generational thing? Did we lose that somewhere?
Deteriorating.
Yeah.
I think people can gain so much so fast with the world that we're living in, and you also have access to knowledge is to learn how to do something and I'm just as guilty of it, man. Like if I need to figure out how to work an editing program or fix a microphone or fix my car, YouTube University, man, will show you real quick, right?
Yeah.
It's where you found King of the Streets. So I think there's a lot of good in it. I think where we're going wrong is kind of the affirmation side of stuff and not staying true to it. And you're going to see, I mean, I've restructured the way I'm doing the podcast too recently. And the reason why I'm doing it is I think that short form content breeds almost kind of this, how do I want to say this? It breeds the most amount of hate because people take stuff out of context, or they're able to pass a judgment within 1 minute instead of 3 hours of us sitting down talking.
Makes sense.
So I've just kind of slowed down. We haven't stopped it completely because I still want to have those highlights to send back. And that, I mean, that's probably one reason why your episode has done so well is we put out some of those highlights and it was very, let's just say the word clickbaity, you know, or whatever it was. Like I was showing a lot of the content from King of the Streets, stuff that the King of the Streets fans hadn't seen yet. Nobody's had access to you. I don't think King of the Streets has been on any podcasts.
No.
Like,
they still haven't aired the fight either. So
he created this feeding frenzy, right? And that's why it did so well. But ultimately, once they get there, they have to stay too, right? And that's all on you and your story and me. And boy, don't read the YouTube comments. It's picking me apart. They're like, "Why don't you shut up and let him talk?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, yeah. See, my eyes, I don't
Nobody
follow.
cares.
Yeah,
Work harder. Yeah.
If you're hating or not, I can't read it. So save your time.
Yeah, there was some other hate on there too, but I don't even want to bring that guy up.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully he's in a ditch somewhere.
Not yet, but I'll put up. I still got time. Like I said, Mama hasn't punched my clock yet, so I'm doing all right, man. You know?
But anyways, what we've done is I've just slowed it down, and we got rocked since you've been in. I was just on this, airplane to 30,000 feet, dude, and we were climbing fast with content and what we were doing and the model and the way that we were building it and the people that I brought in to help me build that. And I just pulled the eject button and we're gliding at 15,000 feet or whatever, right? I think that that's a good happy medium. But the ultimate goal is to push it back to the long form because this is where the meat of it is. This is where people truly experience that human connection, I think, is in this long form and not so much those 1 minute clips. So I'm just urging other podcasts, and I'm also trying to be that lead by example, man. It's like, you got to practice what you preach, So I'm trying to stay true to that as much as I can, and ultimately, I'm doing this to help other people. So it's like if that's creating dissent or hatred towards somebody or something like that, like I know you're not going to please everybody, but it was just something that I noticed, and like us having the school shooting here, me losing a family member, and it was a culmination of a bunch of different stuff, and I was like, okay, check. I took it as a sign from universe, and it popped in my brain. It was like, this is the reason why, dude, is I get to spend 2 hours with you uninterrupted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and have a real conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Sometimes, I mean, it seems like a sacrifice at first, but usually the payoff, like we said, is, it's better in the long run.
And for me, it's not about getting those 25,000 views. I mean, that's awesome. It's about helping you and me and the listeners. And if all three of those people are winning, then I'm happy. You know what I mean? And I think that that's where we can do it.
Yeah,
and then the fourth check in the box is humanity, man. Like, what are you doing for the greater good of humanity?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm kind of like you. We got our little nook. It's your little slice of heaven. You know what I mean? You just do the best with what you can.
Yeah.
And like you've done a great job with it. And that's what I'm at that stage right now where I've now built it. Now I just got to get them to come.
Yeah, man.
And it takes time. I'm all about the grind and the hustle, so I don't need much to be successful, and that's where I'm at. So, excuse me, I'm right there next to you, checking off boxes as well,
That's awesome, man. That's the coolest part is like, you opened up with it, and then we'll wrap this up here.
Yeah.
And this is a good end, but to take it back to full circle, you were talking about all the guests that I've had on and how much you've been able to see their growth, and you've known some of them for, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even, right?
Absolutely.
And to watch their growth is so inspiring. Even in the short time that I've had, people on the podcast. I mean, look at what's happened in the 8 months since you've been in. I think it's been 8 or 9 months, somewhere around there. Like, dude, you have a gym. You got another fight coming up. We had all the success with the podcast. I've watched your following go up. And none of that is because of me or you coming on the Mountainside. But we are, we're doing that together. Like, it helps me just as much as it helps you. And to me, that's so inspiring to have Chris in and watch him go through those world championships. And then, there's a ton of people that are just having major success, like Dustin Jacoby, and but there's also on the flip side of that too. There's some people that are struggling in the community, but I still give them shine, man. And how can we help them? And like, you know what I mean? Like that's what a community is about. That's
why I mentioned those guys earlier. Like, it's one of those, like, I only mention them because they just, to me, they're good dudes. They're guys I know, but they don't get enough shine. They can help more people by having a good platform and meeting a guy like you that, if it's the right fit, then make it happen, And those guys have helped me. So it's like with the peptides, right? We talk about things that we're benefiting from. That's how we all get better.
Yeah.
So like I said, it all breaks down, you know what I mean? And it all just comes, I think, from solid referrals, from knowing more, solid people, seeing the growth, and not hating on it as well. We see a lot of that.
Absolutely.
People trying to push down people that are trying to, whether it's the same thing or with just a different content, right? It doesn't matter. We're all trying to get to a certain place. So, it's like I tell people all the time, like, if I have this secret and I hold on to it and die with it, what's the point in having the secret?
100%.
It's like knowledge minus action equals what? Nothing.
Well, and I think one of the coolest parts too, the thing that I get out of listening to other podcasts is it like gives me access to somebody to figure out who they really are.
Yep.
And I think I used the example of this with Chris last week. Like, one of the most fascinating people I've listened to on Rogan for me personally was being able to listen to Mel Gibson and why he created some of the movies and the path that he took. And like, the dude is such a stud, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you can't fake something at 3 hours into a conversation and just like, why did he choose to make the movie The Passion of the Christ in the way that he did? You know what I mean? Like, it's mind blowing. So to be able to have access, or like the listeners to be able to have access to Jason Lee and figure out, why are you doing this? Because I think that's a big question that you get asked a lot, right? And
Absolutely.
You've told it on here, man. So.
Yeah. Well, like I said, just to reiterate before we close out here, guys, the Peak Performance Training Center, Parker, Colorado, I started it as a family opportunity, you know what I mean? And we're just looking to build better people. I don't care what your goal is. Trust me, I can help you. Whether it's just perspective, frame of mind, or the workouts, we can definitely help you. So I encourage you to just come give us a check out if you're on that side of town, for sure. And then when it comes to the Dragon Den fighting system, if you guys are interested in any type of combatants training, regardless of what it may be, like I said, I'm your guy. I can definitely add some knowledge or help you with your game. I'm not looking to steal any fighters. I'm not looking to train fighters. But if you are a fighter and want to get better and have some questions, I'm totally here to help you out. And then lastly, bully this. If you have kids, you have teenagers, whatever it may be, please reach out, tell me your story, what's going on with the current situation, and whether or not we just start off with a text feedback on how, what I may recommend or, help you out with. And then if that leads into us meeting and doing some work together, that's great. Or if you have school programs, that feel like they can benefit from a guy like me coming in and telling my story and, helping out with those type of things, I'm definitely here and available. So feel free, just reach out. Like I said, guys, I'm retired. I'm just doing this because I can and because I still have the energy and the power to do it. So feel free and reach out. I'd love to talk with y'all.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Let's wrap this up so we can get to your family and
absolutely
enjoy a nice dinner. And
thank you so much again, guys. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, get ready. You got to come back.
Well, yeah. And guys, stay tuned, man. I definitely have a fight coming this summer. I can't say too much about it. It's kind of weird now, but next time you see me on here, we'll have a great story to tell and, another victory to bring home for the American fans.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go USA. Let us know if you need anything to that leading up. You're always welcome here. You always got a spot here. I love you, brother.
Absolutely. Love you
Thanks,
too, man.
bro.
Let's go, Chris Camozzi. Let's go, big dog.
Yeah, W's. And Mel.
Absolutely.
And Hayes. And
there's
the
too
squad.
many of them nowadays.
Gertz.
My crew.
Yeah, the squad. The Mountainside squad. If you've been on the Mountainside, let's go.
Thank you very much, guys.
Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Derek, thanks for being here. Take us away.